Hello everyone. How's it going? Hope you all enjoyed the recent Marlynn video. Today I'm going to be playing a slightly, I think this card's like, or this list is maybe like 6 to 8 cards off the normal list, but let's go ahead and give it a try. Let me actually pull open. Okay. But how's everyone doing? Welcome back. Excuse me. All right. Let's get some good RTM practice. Let me show. Go. But yeah, we're gonna do a game with the list first, and then we'll talk about it after. I think I've mostly updated my sideboards too, if anyone's interested. Probably actually go ahead and post the list in chat a little early. Actually go. Where's chat? Post it here. Alright, playing against KO. Alright, we got the free win. Perfect. Alright, hopefully this is updated. Yep, looks good. This is actually, I don't know, I've been liking this particular list a lot. I probably have like 5 to 6 different kind of Marlynn lists at any given time, and I feel like this one has actually been like maybe the coolest one. Okay, good start. So I don't really want to pitch the 3 oak. I'd rather just like arsenal the 3 oak. So I think we're just pitching the pre-med here. Yeah, let's go ahead and pitch pre-med, and then we'll just hopefully get to hold on to the other 3 oak here. Pretty okay start though. Not too bad, not too bad. Alright, so we pitch Sleep Dart and Yellowfin. And send 10. Pretty good. You might be noticing this fun little quiver here. And that's mostly just, it's like partially a meme, but I think there is actually like a legitimate use case for this quiver, which is that it doesn't put a drill shot into your arsenal, or just like a hamstring or a sleep dart or whatever. So I've actually been kind of like not minding the quiver as much. It's pretty okay. Patrick says, why back on Blood Rots? So basically the swap I made was between Lace with Blood Rot, or I basically swapped Codex of Blood Rot to Lace with Blood Rot. So the idea there is we keep the same blue ratio that I think we were talking about basically in the last video. But we lose out on the Ponder plus the Blood Rot, but we get a higher chance of like connecting with our harpoons. So I think like Lace with Blood Rot gives you like a higher roll potential, but like the Codex of Blood Rot is like more of a consistency piece, if that makes sense. I think I'm actually not going to pitch the quiver here and just hold on to that Redfin in case we need it. That's at least the idea. Is basically you want to like still have like you basically want the Lace with Blood Rot to help you like connect with your arrows more, and then like Codex of Blood Rot I think is like good redundancy, but like maybe is not fully needed. That being said, like you do have like a higher chance of like bricking stuff, but I think there's also like a lot of like overlap with the ponder token sometimes. Like sometimes you'll like make a ponder anyways, and then you like just be sending 2 damage, which is kind of bad. So I think there are a lot of like kind of legitimate reasons to actually cut Codex with Blood Rot. At least that's the idea. It also being like a 2-block's not like amazing. I don't know. I guess Lace is also a 2-block, so not really much difference there, but okay. Got run. So the awkward thing here is actually I don't want to attack with this in case they want a Scowling. I think we're just blocking with this. I think a little bit awkward, but it's fine. Alright, so now we can take game. Ideally send either Redfin or whatever we draw off the top. This is a nice set of draws. So now we get to Arsenal Trophy for next time. I'm not actually going to go ahead and give the hook here because they can theoretically block. But yeah, I've been really actually liking the Lace with Blood Rots, just in like the main, like having an extra pump in the deck makes it feel very, very smooth. Like basically you're on like 17 pumps, so like if you're like cracking gold to try to find pumps, you're like more likely to hit a pump, which is like the most often, I guess, like the use case I have for like cracking gold is like I'm trying to crack gold so I can either find like a better arrow or like better pumps, and like having a redundant pump is actually quite nice. All right, we get to take a wild ride. Fantastic. Actually surprised they didn't give more armor, but I guess maybe they didn't want to just like completely lose their hand or whatever. I guess it makes sense. And these have been some pretty good hands. Yeah, hopefully I'll get to illustrate the I guess like the use case between like Codex of Bloodrot versus like Lace with Bloodrot. Basically, like every time we're gonna draw Lace with Bloodrot, let's compare it to Codex of Bloodrot, and I guess kind of see how it performs. Okay, coming in for 7. I don't care. I think there's much they can do. They maybe have like another run roughshod. I guess they could theoretically have the third one there. All right, so let's start. We're definitely starting by making a Gulfin here. I guess the question is like, are we gonna get the opportunity to play out the Loan Shark? Maybe. Let's see. Draw on a Hamstring. This is interesting. I actually think I want to crack some more gold here. Because we have like the we have Tunic plus this. If we can draw into like that, then we can actually like play out the Loan Shark and then get our free hook. This is looking real nice. All right, nice relaxing KO game to start off the stream. I feel like this matchup, like every time I play it, it feels like worse and worse from the KO side. Like it feels like a lot of the games they just like do not have agency if you see a King Shark early, which is kind of fun. At least fun for me. All right, 17. So I've been seeing like a decent number of decks still running No Fear, but like whether they draw it at the right time is always the biggest question. All right, so everything here. I think so. You force them to pop Sash to send CNC, and then I'm not even that upset with that. So I think we're gonna make them do that. Actually, just take the Wild Ride. Right, Arsenal the port side, which we could even let go if they want to, like Savage Sash CNC. I think I'm fine with that. More likely the play here is actually going to be like block 7. Oh, they're just going to claw. Okay, they don't even want to Sash here. That's I feel like I would have Sashed there, but to each their own. I feel like I don't know. It's just like it's such like a bad play. It's almost like a time walk. But maybe they're just like trying to conserve block value or something. All right, so we get this and use up our port side here. So I'm ideally looking for either another buff or a better arrow. All right, and this is, I guess, so let's actually examine. All right, this is actually a perfect case to examine Lace with Bloodrot versus Codex of Bloodrot, right? So if we draw Codex of Bloodrot here, we're upset, right? Because we're basically just having a yellow deal 2, and we already have basically a redundant Ponder. That being said, like double Ponder is definitely better than like one Ponder, but majority of the time it's not. But I guess in this case, like this Lace with Bloodrot could be dealing an additional 5, basically, which is kind of cool. For what it's worth, we could actually have cracked like a little bit more gold here, but I feel like they're probably not going to be able to kill us at 22 with 4 armor left. Oh yeah, and it seems like we maybe caught them on a Blood Rush hand, which is also pretty rough. So yeah, I feel like, okay, so mark it down in chat. This is one game where I think the Lace with Bloodrot was actually better than the Codex of Bloodrot. Maybe variance, whatever, but like I think that's like at least the my theory is that like at least getting like the additional power to connect with your arrow, and then also like the on-hit Bloodrot is actually better than the Codex. All right, but yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the list. So lots of weird cards here. Let's I guess talk about kind of like the main deck a little bit first. So I think people in chat may notice the first card that we're going to try to swap today is basically Lace with Bloodrot over Codex of Bloodrot. So you'll see here, I think we're only on 11 yellows and 11 reds. So what does this mean for basically like the deck building, right? It means that if you watch like the previous video with like Taylor and Ben, we actually talked about how good yellows are in the deck. So like having Codex of Bloodrot in the deck makes your fail state for like trying to draw like a non-red buff off the top. It makes it look better, right? But the problem with Codex of Bloodrot is that so sometimes it doesn't let you connect with arrows. Sometimes like the yellow 2 damage 2 block is like just kind of mid. And then other times just like having the redundant Ponder token is like not actually that good. Codex of Bloodrot is like a really good consistency piece, but it doesn't actually help you like high roll your opponent necessarily. Like Lace with Blood Rot is much more of like a high roll card basically, right? So like if you're doing like 3-oak, right? Which would you rather have basically in like a 3-oak can? Is it a Lace with Blood Rot or a Codex with Blood Rot? So that's at least like kind of the idea of Lace with Blood Rot, is it gives us a little bit more high roll potential and helps us connect with our arrows a little bit more. And then between this list and the other version, I think I'm back on my Murderous Rabble. So I think we had a Frailty Arrow. I forget, Withering Shot, is that what it's called? I think we normally have like Withering Shot in this like blue slot, but instead we're gonna try Murderous Rabble mainly for gravy. Just having like initial thing that can like kill or like a Rigor Mortis is actually quite useful. And yeah, pretty much like the still standard main deck. We'll also kind of talk, I guess, about the maybe slightly different gravy board here. So we've actually been doing a little bit of testing, or I've been doing a bit of testing just into like gravies who are not assuming fatigue, and Endless actually like makes that matchup like very, very good for us. Basically, like you have a lot more agency than if you we're just doing like the drop the anchor soul thing. Like the drop the anchor soul thing will basically like lose to bad gravies, but this will help you like basically beat bad gravies. So it kind of depends like how wise the gravy is like onto whether or not you're fatiguing or not. But the existence of 2 game plans is actually really cool, because like if you're doing the drop the anchor swell game plan, your opponent wants to run like D-reacts into you, right? But if you're doing like the endless game plan, your opponent doesn't want to run D-reacts and they just want to do like the full fatigue package basically. So there's basically like the existence of 2 different potential sideboards actually makes the gravies like have to think a little bit more, which is kind of interesting. Assuming that they're not thinking, or assuming that they are thinking. A lot of gravies will just like default to like just running D-reacts anyways, which I think is like it's good into like the swell drop plan, but not good into this plan basically. And yeah, I think the sideboard is like for the most part the same. We're also running Quiver basically. So there's 2 use cases for Quiver. The first is into Gravy, which like you put 3 extra arrows back in your deck, have initial 9 block in your deck, which is really good. The second use case is actually a Quiver of Rustling Leaves, but it doesn't put a bad arrow into your arsenal. So you can like filter up to 3 cards with this if you like pitch 2 reds and a blue. And like getting turn 1 filtering without putting anything in your arsenal is actually like kind of interesting in a lot of matchups. So we're running the Quiver of Abyssal Death. I think it's like a little bit of a meme, but I think it's actually kind of funny. And Patrick says, are you running Trench into Gravy to get rid of Endless if needed? So actually, I was talking a bit about this with a couple other Marlynn folks. And like, I've run the Endless strat into Gravy a bunch of times, and like, you don't actually really need to clear your arsenal all that much, because like, basically what happens is this, right? So you have an Endless in arsenal, your Gravy opponent like maybe takes like an off turn or whatever, and then you just send like 8 or 11 off Endless, right? And like your opponent probably wants to block that, just because like they want to deny you having the Endless, like maybe they like double D-react or whatever, in which case they're basically taking an off turn anyways, right? So like if you trench it, you're basically just like moving that turn, like you're moving that like getting rid of Endless up a turn basically, but like you're having to run trench, which is kind of awkward. And I think Tunic is actually kind of useful sometimes in a Gravy, just because like you can, if they play like a Chum or something, you can use like blue plus Tunic plus Endless to send like 8 at a Chum or whatever. I think there's actually like, it's pretty close between Tunic and Trench, but I think that overall like you don't really need Trench all that much to clear Endless, because like sending Endless out of Arsenal basically clears Endless, if that makes sense. Ironside says, my gold token came today. Oh, thank you. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed, Ironside. Hope it came safe and sound and everything. But yeah, if you want any of those gold tokens, we can actually pull up the Ko-fi page right now. Let me actually see if I can do that real quick. But yeah, you giving me the perfect excuse to shill for a Ko-fi page. Let me see. Pull that up. Oh yeah. All right. Where are we? My page. But yeah, this actually leads into a nice segue on the gold token. So if you are interested in buying a gold token, maybe for a little Christmas, New Year's gift, we do still have a bunch of them available. I think Tegan's actually updating like the counts on these at some point. But yeah, we've already sold 20, which is really good. And that doesn't even include like the stuff from the charity stream. So I'm really glad that people are like enjoying the tokens, and yeah, I think they're really, really sweet as well. And then I think I missed one other comment in chat. Let's take a look. Gotta get back. Do you think Levi will be good? I just got a Marvel redeemed. I think like she has to be good eventually, right? I think it's interesting because like KO is kind of like the top deck right now, and if KO leaves and like Mandible Claw goes, which makes like Levi worse. So it's interesting. Like I think Levi is like kind of in an okay spot already. Like I wonder what like Levi's like roughest matchups are right now. Like Gravy seems like manageable maybe. I don't know. Levi people in chat maybe correct me on like what are Levi's like good and bad matchups right now. That I'm actually not sure. But like KO is at least like the predominant brute right now. So if KO leaves and leaves the Mandible Claw, that could get a lot worse. And then Adrian says, "Hey, nice video." Oh, are you talking about the recent Marlyn video? Yeah, I think I don't know. I like those like Marlyn puzzle videos. I think they're really cool. The Levi problem is we get too tickled. Yeah, that seems Levi's roughest matchup is okay. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, the Levi slander can stay in chat, but yeah, maybe that's like Levi's actual real issue is just like consistency. But like I like there have been some like local Levi players here in Colorado that have actually been like really strong, at least like into this deck. All right, do we want to run it back on a KO? I guess we can get some KO practice. Sure, why not? But yeah, this matchup I think is pretty good for us. It's always good to practice it though. They can still like high roll you like semi bad, so I don't know. But yeah, we're trying out some new things today. I've also like been considering like trying maybe like 2 sinks in the board depending on how the meta shakes up. I still have this one hamstring shot, but I'm like kind of debating whether or not that's even useful for like Cinder or whatever. Okay, so C4 salvage does nothing. We'll give them a good luck, have fun. I think we're just ripping the 3-oak here and just seeing what happens. Ideally, I don't want to send a hamstring, but we might just to get it out. I also could do like potentially up to 4-card filtering here. Riffin's fine enough here. So I think we are gonna just filter an extra card out of our hand here. Like maybe just get rid of this redundant port side. Hey Burst Flames, how's it going? But yeah, we're just trying some different things with Marlyn today. I always like to experiment. Yeah, Syndra has been kind of MIA since the brand ban. I think I've heard some rumors that like Syndra's actually like still fine, and I feel like that's actually like the case with a lot of the decks that got like hit with the ban, right? Like Marionette's still fine. Gravy's actually doing better. Like they got rid of one of his cards, but they got rid of like his worst matchup, which is like makes Gravy a lot scarier. I think what else? So it's what Gravy, Syndra. I mean, Verdant's got hit with the Rootbound ban, which like a lot of times against Verdants, you don't even like they don't even get to decompose against you as Marlyn. So I think a lot of them are just running like all 9D reacts at this point instead of the Rootbounds, which I think makes a bit of sense. It does mean they have to be like a little bit more proactive, I guess, but like otherwise it really doesn't matter too much. Oh, I probably should have hooked this for what it's worth, but I guess we ended up playing around the nope here. So I guess we could have hooked that still anyways. But yeah, I've been seeing like a decent amount of nope here lately. All right, Arsenal port side. Okay, pretty good next hand. Can't you activate hook since you made a gold on turn 0? Oh, so that's not how Crown of Dominion works. It's when you equip Crown of Dominion, create a gold. Wait, actually, when you equip it, I think equipping happens before the turn. Someone, if there's any judges in chat, let me know. But I think equipping happens before the turn actually starts. I think that's my understanding. Like, it doesn't happen during your turn. But that would be cool if it did work like that, getting a free hook. So I think the idea here is we port side, and then we don't really have a whiff here. Depends on what they got. Got rid of that strongest survive. Okay, send packing. So question is, do we care about losing our port side? I feel like the answer is probably no. And we could just give the block here. Then we like lose out on the trophy shot, which is awkward. I think we're just supposed to take this. Yeah, it happens in start a game procedure, which I think is like not on your opening turn. So we need at least a blue or a yellow here. So we have 8 whiffs in the deck, which are our red buffs. And then we have 8 whiffs out of 53, or we pitched 3, right? So 50, 8 out of 50. What is 8 out of 50? What are the odds on that? Hold on, calculator. All right, we have a 16% chance of whiffing here. I think I'll take that still. All right, didn't whiff. Perfect. And then we have 8 armor plus card in hand. They are running no fears, but we already saw 1, so I guess I'm incentivized to hook. Yeah, I think like my prediction for the bans is actually that like a lot of the top decks are still the top decks. It's just that they're like slightly more targetable, which I think is like maybe the ideal outcome. Um, but it's definitely kind of interesting that a lot of the decks are kind of like largely untouched. We gotta play around strongest survive next turn. Okay, this hand's pretty good. Not like that good though. So they discarded the wild ride, drew a new card. They still have the strongest in hand. They draw blue here. That's actually really bad, right? Yeah, I think the chance there was actually like semi high just because like lace with bar this is I guess it's like highlighting like kind of a downside of lace, right? Is that um you do kind of have I think we're not by the way. We're getting pretty low here though. Not finding the king shark is a little bit rough, but we'll make the best out of it. So we could do our 3-int tunic plan. Just tempting. We don't really have a ton of whiffs since we have the catch of the day, so I think I'm actually going to get a little bit greedy since we're behind here. So I'm looking either for King Shark, red buff. Oh, whoops. I think I passed a little too quickly there. All right, so which one did I pitch again? I think it was a sleep dart, right? I hope it was a sleep dart. You're another sleep dart. And we pass here. Tunic. We're going in no gold here, which is like a little bit awkward. I think we kind of have to make this play. Right, unfortunate. Okay, there's not really much. Why does he keep doing that? Hold on. I keep. All right, I keep like accidentally like double clicking. So weird. All right, there we go. All right, catch. I guess we're now discarding the codex, which feels pretty bad. Yeah, I think this they might have actually had like a little bit too strong of a start here. I guess we'll still get the Kraken here. But sending Kraken still feels real bad. We still have 11 here, so Hook should theoretically... We have 12 on 11, should be safe. Unless I'm miscounting something. But yeah, the odds of us drawing the blue the one turn over a red buff were pretty high, I'd say. Alright, so at least they don't have a Blood Rush in hand, or I assume they would have blocked with it. Alright, we still got some pretty good numbers here, though. Really gonna need to find a King Shark or a 3-Oak would be ideal. I guess I'll take a Kraken, but I'm not thrilled. Alright, big Sash turn. So we're gonna take a little bit of damage. They are gonna get like pretty close to killing us, depending on like what the last remaining cards are. Right, we can go to 9. So Wild Ride 5 into... They discard the Show Strength, so I don't think we actually know... Do we know what this last card is? Wasn't their hand like... Let's unsort this. I thought their hand was like Wild Ride, Show of Strength. Another Wild Ride in like a blue or something? I don't think we know what this card is. Unless I'm not remembering it. Let's go and take the damage here. So best case scenario, they have like a 2 cost here or 3 cost or whatever. Oh, they're just gonna pass. Okay. We actually probably should have conserved our life total actually a little bit there. I was thinking if there was like a disruption effect, like a strongest survivor or something, maybe we were supposed to hold cards, but maybe it was actually better to block a little bit earlier. So I think here we have to banish. I think we're gonna crack some gold just to try to draw something that pairs with the 3-Oak. Trophy shot's a good one. So ideal case is we draw a buff off the trophy. King Shark, okay. That still kind of works. Partially. Oh god, this next hand's really good if we can actually manage to keep the cards, but I'm slightly doubtful. We can get a Blood Rush out of them here. I think that's a pretty big game, though. Yeah, sending Kraken is just so mid against KO a lot of the time. So we need them. I need them to have like a brick turn here, but I assume since they're keeping like 4 cards, it's probably not the case. Oh, interesting. They're giving us the impact as well. All right, 3-card KO hand. We have some armor and we have a 3-oak to work with. So strongest survive. So I think I'm actually supposed to arsenal the 3-oak here. Because we might need this King Shark for blocking purposes, and then we can just YOLO into another arrow. Ooh, they did have the Blood Rush. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna get scary. So we know they still have that strongest survive in hand as well. I don't know if we actually live this. I guess we can go to 1. So we have to block here. Take 3, go to 1, and then I guess we still have like the armor with. I feel like it's maybe like the best case scenario, but I think we're still cooked here probably. They're just sending strongest here for 10. I guess we can cover this, which is kind of funny. So what do we need off the top here, actually? We can do like buff into big arrow, and I think that might get there. I think that would do it. Let's go ahead and crack. I will take... Do I want both of these, actually? I think we don't want both of these, right? Because the likelihood of us being able to send multiple, or like... debating whether I actually want this second King Shark. I think the answer is no, right? Like, I just want to rip the 3-oak here, and then, like, maybe make a Goldfin. Because, like, the likelihood of us keeping multiple cards on the next hand are, like, pretty low. Now it's 3-oak. Okay, so now we need a blue. Alright, so this is actually a case scenario where the Codex of Blood is, like, a little bit better. I guess we still... Oh, okay. Not our game, I think, this one. So we can now send 6, unfortunately. This might still demand a card from hand, at least, which is kind of funny. I think there was actually, like, a better way to do that there. We crack gold, we go to 1. Having the King Shark on top was, like, a little bit awkward, because then it means we don't get to see, like, another blue. I guess we would have seen the elephant anyways, though, so maybe just a little bit unlucky on the 3-oak. The Lace with Bloodrot, I guess, gives and takes. Our opponent's actually pretty tech, though. Like, the No Fears actually have been doing quite a bit of work. Alright, so we revealed a Blood Rush. We lose, so I think we're dead here. Yeah, Ranger Hand, unfortunately, did get us here, I think. We're not, like, necessarily dead, but we're not looking great here. This depends how good this Blood Rush is. If they don't have follow-up here and they're just doing like Claw for 7, maybe we're fine. Even then, it's pretty bad, right? Oh yeah, this unpacking will get us. I guess... I'm gonna play towards the out of them bricking off like a pulping or something, which they do have in the deck. So anything is possible. Arsenal the take game, I guess. Alright, they're not breaking off the pulping, so I think they pretty much got us here. And also our hand blocks 9 total, which is kind of funny. But yeah, they got us good there. I think their draws were pretty good. We'll give them a good game as well. Let's see. So how many No Fears? I guess they just saw both No Fears as well. A little unfortunate, but I think this card is actually like a pretty good answer for KO into us. I don't actually know who else do you run this card into as KO. Maybe like Verdance or something? Like Verdance. Maybe like Marionette or something. We could also actually probably see that. Yeah, this card is actually like maybe getting a little bit better right now. Oh, they want to enable chat. Oh, wait, I know it was sideboard against Kano at one point, but I think Kano isn't legal anymore. Trying to think like maybe we'll see. I don't know if I know this person. I think Marlin is like a decent RTN deck. But yeah, I'm probably actually gonna be playing Marlin at the RTN. Yeah, that's fair. I think KO's actually been like a pretty good deck as well. Like I think KO might be taking the place of like Syndra. Oh, this person was at calling Seattle. Gotcha. Different meta though. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can get another one. Yeah, Kano being gone is very sad for Tegan, but very happy for everyone else who plays the game. Right. More green boys. Oh, Pseudo messaged me. Oh, Nate's showing me some crazy stuff for the Kano matchup. Oh, interesting. Okay, so Reinar. Reinar is interesting. It's basically the same board. I debated about running a Taya. I don't think you probably need to, though. Interesting. They're fat decking us here, so they're running 69 cards. Okay. Yeah, I don't think Marlin is as bad as a lot of people make her out to be. I think that's true. So Intimidate. Left us with the take aim, which is a little bit unfortunate here. But at least we're only taking 4 from a Reinar on turn 1, so it could be worse. Could definitely be worse. And then what do we want to do here? I think we're going to tipple, and if they do go for the scaling, I think we're fine with that. Yeah, Marlin, the Marlin dollars are also a huge problem for her. Do we want to hook preemptively? I know some runners are running Ripple Away. Not Tipple Away. I guess Tipple Away is kind of what the card is, though. I will take a King Shark. So this is interesting because this actually might incentivize them to scaling, but then we can YOLO the gold off the top, which is kind of funny. Interesting. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't try to go for the scaling there. So now the question is, do we want a gold crack? We are gonna have like an arsenal next turn, pretty much guaranteed. I think I am gonna go for the gold crack here. Because if we draw like a pre-med or a buffer or something, like then we can just rip it. King Shark, fantastic. I'm very glad I cracked the gold there. And now we get the free hook as well because we tippled. We are going off gold, but because we're keeping an arsenal, I think it's fine to go off gold a lot of the time. This probably will buy some number of armor, maybe D-react. I know some Reiners are on some number of reacts. So I guess we'll see here. This looks like more of just like an aggro Reiner, though. So maybe they're just going to eat the damage. Let's take a peek at that hand. All right, swing big, agile windup, strongest survive. So I think the correct choice here is to take the windup. Otherwise, they do not. They have to pitch a red here. All right, we get a King Shark for next turn, which is also great. They are going to be hitting us with Blood Rush turn, but pitching a red to Blood Rush is awkward. Oh, they're just going to Arsenal Blood Rush. Okay, I'm actually kind of fine with this. So we're good with this. Yeah. So I think the ideal case for this turn is we want to trophy shot into a buff, ideally, of which we have. What's our buff count right now? We've seen that one take aim. This is a buff. I don't think we pitched a catch, right? So our buff chance off the top with Eye of Ophidia, we get to look at 3 cards. And then we have 15 buffs in the deck out of a 49 to 50 card deck or something like that. So I think the odds of hitting a buff here are actually, we should actually make a Goldfin first. Sorry, hold on. Goldfin first. But our odds of hitting a buff here are actually quite high. Lace is perfect. And then Sunken Treasure, I think we should bottom for the purposes of drawing towards our 3-oak a little bit faster. Let's go and do that. Now we're sending for 17, which is perfect. I guess technically 19 if you want to count the Blood Rod as well. but pretty nasty. What is the odds that the Reinhardt is going to be able to block 17? So we have 8 armor here, plus 3. So they need double D-React. I don't think they have double D-React. And if they do, then I guess they're not blood rushing us next turn. Or like they're probably not going to be blood rushing off us off a 3-card hand. I think we go for the risk here. They could blow it up, but they need like a very specific hand to do that. I think this is fine. But anyways, how are people doing? Happy holidays. Anyone get anything fun for Christmas or whatever holidays you're celebrating? Let's see what they got. Could be double D-React. At least the block is suspicious. Okay, maybe they're just letting it connect anyways. Okay, so interesting. So this doesn't count as a. So I think the correct choice. So we'll only take one of these two, right? So I guess the it doesn't matter, right? Or does it matter? No, it does matter because if we take the wild ride, they can't discard the run roughshod to make this work. So we have to take the wild ride here. It did in fact matter. Oh, are we talking about fables in the chat? Wife got me a new computer chair. I hate building chairs. Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, chairs are a pretty good investment, at least for my back. I imagine a lot of people have similar back issues. You got an electric toothbrushes are such a big upgrade, like compared to like just normal toothbrushes. I love my electric toothbrush. Probably need a new one at some point, but it's been holding steady for a couple of years. But yeah, electric toothbrushes are so important. Like Dennis also like really liked those, I think, right? I think we're gonna just take the L here and send the King Shark. I mean, Kraken's also like kind of fine against Reinhardt. I think Kraken Gold here is like not super productive. And I think this Gold Bait Hook is free because we have 5 armor plus 3. But yeah, it's like similar math here where they need like double D-React, right? Yeah, I'm really hoping that Compendium will hopefully chip down on some of the fables because I am also having problems with the fables, right? Because Tegan's borrowing the eye and the riches, right?
First off, I just want to say something. Both of those fables are mine.
Okay, it's true, but we're like a partnership, right?
This is true, but both are mine originally, and the riches is on loan to you.
That's true.
I just want that on the record.
That is on the record. Okay, so I think we're taking the vigorous smash up here, just so they don't have reds. I mean, they still have to pitch red to blood rush here. Seems good. Yeah, exactly. There are fables, comrade. Exactly.
If the eye was your fable, you would have opened it in the Arcane Rising Seal.
Tegan's not a comrade. Tegan wouldn't get it.
I want to pull the ladder up behind me with bread.
Oh, water picks? I don't have a water pick actually. Are those like expensive? That actually seems like a good idea.
I was thinking about like that.
Yeah, water pick actually seems like a pretty good investment as well.
Whoever got one in the chat, please tell us how much those are.
Yeah, how much are $30 from Walmart?
Oh,
yeah,
that's cheap.
That's cheap.
That's cheap.
Got it. Oh, double bar. Oh, okay. Terrifying. You need to actually pay attention to what's going on the screen. I guess they're not like clawing us though. Why am I like kind of fine with this? I guess as long as they don't like double blue. Okay, so they get to get rid of our Kraken, which is fine. Seems good. All right, we'll go to 7. But then they're basically like out of stuff, so kind of okay with this actually. Cheap compared to Fab, yeah, that's true. So we need to deal 10 damage. I think we're gonna start by cracking some gold and looking for any harpoon. 3 of a kind will do. The question here. We can actually guarantee the gold here with the tipple, right? I guess we're gonna do that actually over the port side because the 1 extra damage might matter. And then I'm not gonna play around ripple away here. Okay, hamstring might be fine. We'll hold off on that for a bit though. So we want to gold the tip, ideally crack a couple more gold, and just find like either any buff or any harpoon. Are you, Tegan, are you using riches for RTNs?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So Carrie's got me covered on that one at least.
Darth IC's got banned.
Yeah, that's true.
The gold.
True. Tegan is our gravy player.
That's fun.
That is fun. So this doesn't quite kill is the issue. Like I almost want to get rid of this hamstring because we need to find something better. But the chance of actually finding something better are kind of low, right? I feel like actually... No, I think we should like still crack with the hamstring because we just need to find a better arrow. And we can always play out the loan shark to get 2 more cracks. Okay, this is I think works now, right? We'll do 1 more crack, I think. Okay, this works. So now we do gold the tip. I don't know if we want to play out this catch. We don't need to catch, right? I think we just codex. We just need to do enough damage to kill them. And I think we should be fine. Alright, let's discard the loan shark. And I think we're not playing the catch of the day because like the odds of us brick, like if we brick we lose, and I just don't want to lose.
Light of Soul rule.
Yeah, Light of Soul's a cool fable.
Light of Soul sometimes like just like after playing Prism for a while, Light of Soul sometimes just says like get like an insurmountable advantage.
Yeah. But if we're talking about fables for Marlynn, I've actually kind of changed my stance a little bit on the fables, like in terms of like most important to least important. I think actually like the 2 most important ones are like Aya and Ataya, and then like I kind of think riches is whatever. Like I haven't had to actually resort to the riches loop in like a very like a substantial number of games, which is kind of interesting. Like having the extra gold in the deck is nice, but like I think riches is actually kind of overrated. That's at least my opinion. Like you probably like replace it with the loan shark. Like having that end game of like the riches loop, I think is like I haven't had to use that in the past like I want to say like 80 games or something like that. Like resorting to that is like kind of I don't know, like a lot of the games that you have to resort to the riches loop are like kind of bad. That being said, like generating a bunch of gold, especially in longer matchups, is pretty good. But the way the deck is like kind of slanted now is like you don't really want to have long matchups. So I don't know. My opinion on riches is like kind of diminished a little bit at least.
Prism rocks because you also get to run library.
That's true. Library is actually library is like the most fucked up card of all time.
I love Prism so much. If she was like better than Gravy, I'd probably just go back to playing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the kitchen. You want?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
All right, let's see if we can find a non-brute. We did actually pretty good though. What are we 2-1 into the brutes? Not too bad. I'm gonna veto the second Reiner. All right, we gotta practice against something that's not green. We can practice against Ira, I guess. Probably go second. On these, I think we just do Kraken Shark in this matchup. And Atai is good. Riches, I think, is good. Carpet's interesting, but I don't think it's like necessary. Let's just get rid of the Rabbles, I think. Do something like this, I think, seems fine. Some Iras are on Warmongers, but I'm not going to run Honing Hood because we don't know. I actually played against Ira in like a pretty long time. Curious to see if we're going to get ruined by Warmongers turn 1 here. Let's see. Maybe I'll have to update my side. I don't even think I have an Ira sideboard right now, but maybe I'll have to update it to running Honing Hood depending on how badly we get Wongers here. All right, start with the edge. What does edge mean? Hold on. Do they have to? Let me actually look this up. Do they have to hit with the Edge of Autumn to Edge of Autumn? No, they don't have to actually hit to do a Seek Vengeance, right? Alright, but their hand is probably bad if they're pitching an Aspect. So in that case, let's maybe block with the Seafloor here is like our least good card. I'm assuming that their follow-up is going to be pretty mid here. I kind of don't mind like just blocking with the sand anyways. Ooh, Vengeance never rests. Okay, we're doing like a Tiger Ira. I guess that makes sense with the pouncing as well. So I think we're going to go ahead and give up these two. I don't know what their last card could be. I imagine their last card is probably just Arsenal or whatever. But we'll go ahead and respect this with the blocks, I think. Let's see what the last card is. Alright, Arsenal makes sense. So holding on the take game here. I think those three cards are kind of whatever. Alright, interesting hand. So option one we have here is we can make a Goldfin, overpitch the King Shark. Alternatively, we just rip King Shark for 12, which I think is maybe the better play. Just like make them block it. Seems fine. Having the Ponder on hit is also pretty relevant, I feel like. So even if we're not taking a card out of their hand here, I think it's still okay. I don't think we're going to hook this. Riches only slightly improves some matchups for Gravy, but definitely isn't 100% needed. Okay, interesting. I know Tegan likes the Justin Koo list. I think Tegan's been using that that specific plan. I think that one is running Riches. Silagon says, have you seen the Gustavo Cirello Fatigue Marlin list? I don't understand it personally. You and me both. Is a short. So I've actually seen that Fatigue Marlin list do pretty well. Let me actually hold on. Let me try to illustrate my point that I'm trying to make here. I think that list is interesting. Like, there's a lot of interesting like deck building ideas, so I don't want to dismiss it like entirely. But let me actually Gustavo. Let me search that and see if that pulls. Okay, Fatigue Marlin. This is the airport deck tech, right? Yeah, it's this one. So
the airport deck.
The airport deck tech. So let me pull open this one. All right. Let me actually get to the game. Okay, they blocked it out, but that's fine. Oh, we're doing some like Tiger Ira. Oh, Roar the Tiger is bold. But yeah, let me get back to the Fatigue Marlin point I'm trying to make. So I think the deck is really interesting, and I don't want to dismiss it. Oh shit, we're getting Warmongers. Okay, I guess we need to update our sideboard too. So I guess we will say, oh, is there actually any merit to doing anything next turn? I guess we're just saying peace. Unlucky. But yeah, this is, I think, the this is the deck list, right? It's running like Sifts and a bunch of others. Like, there's some interesting ideas here, for sure. Like, I think they're main decking Endless, running like Drill Shot and stuff. I think it's like a lot of the cards are pretty shared, right? So you're running like the King Krakens, you're running the Sharks. You're just not really running any of the big buffs, which are kind of, I think, very important. But the key point I actually want to make is like this. This community win rate is like pretty rough, and I think that I don't know if the deck author actually like posted results. But yeah, this being like 39% actually kind of tracks with me, because like that deck I think loses to basically anything with a pulse is my opinion on it. So I guess we're getting time walk with the Warmongers here, but I guess we're both at 40, so it's not like the end of the world. Let's Arsenal fake game here, I think. Okay, that's good. But yeah, the community win rate on that deck is like real bad. So I think it's a deck for maybe like the person who plays it is like a lot better at maybe that style of deck or something. But from what I understand, they also didn't do that well in the calling. So I don't know. Like, I think it's like uncharted territory, I guess, is maybe the best way I would describe that. But yeah, I can actually post that Fatigue deck link. I think there's also a video. Like, the video is actually really interesting if you want to go watch it. Like, I think the idea, like, the concept is very cool, right? It's the execution. I can't truly talk down on it until I at least get, like, I actually gave that deck, I think, a couple tries. I might have done it on my other account, so it might not have like shown up there. But I did try that deck list out just to see if there's anything going on there, and like I don't know, sending small harpoons just feels so bad. I guess maybe that's my core takeaway there is just like you're gonna send some very very small harpoons on that deck, and I like bigger harpoons. I don't think it fat decks 70 cards. Like there is like a sideboard to it. Let me see. I don't think it's a same 70 in everyone though. Let me actually look this up. Let me pull up in this deck list. Give me 1 second. Like the deck list is really interesting. Let's see. So like let's take a look at like Syndra for instance. So they're running like 60 in the Syndra, which is fine. Yeah, the sideboard like running battering bolt and Syndra is like super awkward. I don't know. There's some awkward stuff with that list for sure. Alright, Tiger. So at least we're not getting Warmongers again this turn, which is nice. Oh, we're getting mauled. No. Insane value. I don't actually care about this maul. If you.
I love Fearless.
Oh, they do get the mass momentum though, yes. Which they're destroying a shelter, which is fine.
Fearless Confrontation rules.
Yeah, Tegan loves Fearless Confrontation.
It's my favorite card of 2020.
I'm actually very surprised they didn't hit Fearless, but I guess it like kind of makes sense. I don't know. I'm surprised they didn't like functionally rat out of that card, but
that card rules.
Insane maul value though. I wasn't even paying attention to the mask there. So okay, Patrick, that's actually a perfect point. You know what that deck feels like? It feels like it's playing Riptide. That's what that entire deck is. It feels like you're playing a bad version of Riptide. Like why not just like play Riptide and play all those same cards in Riptide? I don't know. It's like very weird. I just don't think Marlyn's like that good of a fatigue deck just because like the low armor. Although I guess let me take a look at that deck. I guess they are running New Horizons, which is maybe like 2 extra points of armor or whatever, but like okay, so I guess they didn't even do anything with the mass trigger, which is kind of funny. Okay, so okay, this is gonna be a fun hand. So we gold the tip first, and then we 3 of a kind off 3 oak, and then we can take aim the trophy shot in. Okay, so this is gonna be a banger hand. I think I would understand the fatigue list a bit more if the harpoons were skipped over. Yeah, it kind of like feels like that a little bit. Like I'm not saying the list is bad by any stretch of it. Like I think that if you're like a good pilot with that list, you're probably gonna do like decently well or whatever. It just does feel like it's not like okay, so like in decks in Fab there are decks that like a person who's like completely new to the game could pick up and then play that deck and then get like a 60% win rate or whatever, right? So like I guess like Cinder's an example of that. I think Marionette to a lesser extent, but kind of similarly. Like I think that a lot of like the newer lists are like a little bit more like redline focused and stuff like that, so you can like probably pilot that deck pretty well as well. There are a lot of decks in Fab that you can like take and just pilot to base like a pretty like decent level of competence and do pretty well with, right? I feel like that is not one of those deck lists. Like that's a deck list that the pilot is very good with, potentially, which I think makes sense. Oh, the Ataya actually okay. They have Tunic for Ataya, so it's not actually that good. But we're still gonna blow their brains out here. So this is 20. Seems pretty good. Syndra, Mario, easy to pilot. Sounds like Flick Knives is OP. Yeah, true. Like that's like the issue I see with it, right? Is like it's not like doing anything that's necessarily like super strong. It's kind of just like a different variant on Marlynn, which your opponent might not expect or whatever. So like you can probably get a couple of percentage points of just like catching people off guard, but like the thing you're doing isn't fundamentally powerful. You know what I mean? Outside protecting allies, the best use case of Fearless is to block pulping with 2 cards. Oh yeah, that's actually kind of funny. Losing the dominate on pulping is actually a pretty big deal. I feel like KOs probably shouldn't run pulping into Gravy though. I don't know. So what I'm guessing here is we're gonna connect with the King Shark, they pull Tunic, and they shelter it, so they cover 7, take 13. It's pretty good for having us get time blocked by Warmongers. Pretty sure at one point in my career I will register Marlynn for an event. Well, if you need a list, Rob, hit me up. If you have all the fables and stuff, I can give you some Marlynn tips. I have a couple of games on this hero. I feel like I'm okay. Oh, do you just pulping into allies? I guess that makes sense. I feel like that's overkill to some extent, right? Like, don't you want to like wild ride face and then like claw and then send like a finisher on the end or something? Like, I don't know. I don't play KO because it's boring. Oh yeah, you gotta wait for Pen to crack your eye. Me too. Me too, Rob. Tegan's been monopolizing the eye as they rightfully should. But I had to borrow my eye from Carrie. Oh. All right, let's see what we got here. Do I need to refresh? Let's see. Oh. You need to kill Chumps probably, or your Butter's turns over here. Yeah, that's true. Like I think like Chum is like the big one you have to kill with like a big attack, right? All right, please no second Warmar. I guess the second Warmar isn't even that bad though, right? They will have to pay. Okay, so they have a shelter in hand and a sink. Maybe they're gonna like sink away the shelter or do something else. All right, I think they figured it out. I imagine this King Shark's still gonna be very annoying for them. I would hope at least. All right, they're bottoming a card. Anything else? All right, they have another sink. Are they gonna pitch a shelter here? I feel like this Ataya is putting in some work. God damn. Chum is life. Yeah. Oh, you're going your first RTN with Jarl. Jarl was actually my backup for RTNs. The only problem is that Tegan's running. All right, they can't do all this. OP. All right, so we're not connecting with the King Shark because they had 3 DRX in hand. But if they have 3 DRX in hand, I'm actually like still happy with this, right? So I get to make 2 gold and then Arsenal Kraken for next turn. Oh, you're talking to a local Ira player, and you felt like Tar Pit was much worse for them. Kraken is mostly for damage, but they do have like some number of non-attacks in the deck, like Warmongers. I guess this one's running Roar the Tiger for some reason, which I don't think most are. But you can randomly hit Warmongers. You can randomly hit like Dual Threat, I guess is like the other one. I don't know. There's definitely still like some cards to hit with Kraken. It's mostly like damage and the Harpoon text, but like it's still not bad otherwise. Yeah, stripping and dual threat's like pretty good. And mainly like battering bolt, I don't think is all that useful. At least that's my initial impression. All right, so do we want to crack gold or do we just want to take the safe 15 here? I feel like safe 15 is like pretty good, right? We're not. It's awkward, I guess, because we're not really going to be using the catch today, but it's fine. I don't think they're going to be breaking our hook here either. They just use 3 D-Reacts, so like chances of them drawing another 3 are pretty low. We have Lace and Take Game. I think we're actually supposed to bottom the Lace just so we have the Take Game and Arsenal next turn. I feel like having multiple reds is sometimes like a little bit. I'm actually thinking about bottoming this Lace here just so that we draw either another 3-Oak or another Harpoon or like a Codex or something a little bit faster. So I think we're going to do this. And then I think we are going to give the hook here. If they do manage to cover it, I think I'm fine with that. Yeah, it's typically pretty, like, they could give us, like, Mass plus Okana plus, I don't know, 4 plus 3 or something. But then they still need, like, double react here or something like that. Right? Yeah, save 15 is pretty nice. Tar Pit is probably likely to be good when you're behind. I really need it to be good into Iroh, which I like. Yeah, that makes sense. I think that I've run both Tar Pits and like just like the normal aggro plan in Iroh. And I think it depends a lot on the deck list. Like if they're on like a more D-React oriented deck list, I think that just running like the big buff plan is a lot better just because like you're gonna end up pitching the Tar Pits anyways. But if they're on like more of like an aggro plan, I could see the Tar Pits actually being a little bit better. All right, no double D-React, please. Okay, they have the flick. Ooh, we might be losing our hook here. Or not. All right, we're losing our hook. Unfortunately, they drew 3D reacts or 5D reacts in a row, which is kind of funny. A little bit unlucky, but I guess they could have still like covered it with the armor there anyways. Maybe it was a greedy hook. I feel like the odds of that connecting though are like pretty high. All right, goodbye hook. We barely knew you. Still fine though, because we got like full tempo basically. Yeah, getting their tunic's like not bad, but like I don't know. Still feels bad, obviously. All right, let's go ahead and refresh our goal with the port side and just draw into something, and then probably just gonna rip this 3 oak. Oh, let me post it. I think I posted it early on in chat, but let me actually check. Oh, so this isn't this a hand from the Marlynn puzzles? Hold on, let me actually go back to the deck list real quick. Here, I'll post it in chat just in case anyone missed it. Copy. Paste. All right. Hopefully the deck list works, but let me know. All right, so I think we had this exact puzzle in an earlier Marlynn video, or in the Marlynn puzzles video. So I think the answer was to pitch the gold to tip, right, and just hold on to the bluefin. We have a backup plan here. Like, I kind of want to just try to send 14 and YOLO another arrow. I guess, like, how many arrows have we seen? I guess I'm going to play it safe here, I guess. I'm going to just take game, pitch the gold to tip, and hold on to the bluefin, I think. I think that should be fine. Like, pitching the bluefin, you'll run into some really awkward RNG. Alright, so we would not have drawn another harpoon, which is at least good information. So I think I'm glad I held on to that. We could have cracked gold into a trophy shot, but then we're like a couple cards deeper. Chipping their blue here is like pretty nice though. Assuming we can connect with this, which is doubtful. So we see how many D-Reacts have we gotten out of the way. We've seen the 1 shelter, all 3 sinks are out of the way, so we have 2 shelter, 2 flicks left. Yeah, no problem, Ronan. Hope you experiment with it. I think that the deck list that we also posted in the most recent Marlynn video is like also really good. Like both are, I think, good starting points. Like the key difference is basically like the gravy plan, which I think I prefer this gravy plan like a little bit more. Or like, at least I feel like I have higher agency when I play this. Like I feel like I lose to like really bad RNG or just like really good gravy high rolls if I do like the swell drop plan. That's at least like kind of the logic for it. All right, so we might not see a red. Okay, flick flack. So we have 3 D-Reacts left in the deck unless they're on fates. We can peek at that last card. Act Vengeance, which we don't care about. Perfect. So we still need to keep beating them up here, but eventually they will run out of defense reactions, hopefully. All right, good hand. I think that costs mana. Alright, so they have that next turn, so it's like staying on Arsenal is actually kind of bad here. Alright, let's go ahead and trophy shot. So ideally we're looking for maybe a pump here. Port side is interesting. Port side I guess doesn't really help, right? Because we lost our hook. So I think we're just going to get rid of the Gulfin here. And then the question is, do we want to send the Kraken or do we want to send... I feel like we're still supposed to send the Kraken, even though it's like whatever. They've shown they have Warmongers in their deck, so... And Roar the Tiger for, I guess, what it's worth. So maybe if we can snipe one of those, I think it's fine. Then I think... Are we Arsenaling or Redfin here? I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about whether or not I want to pop gold as well. Like, does gold do anything for us here? I think sitting on 2 gold is fine, because, like, we did lose our hook. And I think I'm not supposed to Arsenal, because we know that they're probably not going to have Warmongers in their hand. Or it's unlikely that they're going to be able to hold a Warmongers, I think. So, like, Arsenaling a non-attack is actually fine here. What do you think about Poison the Tips? At the beginning of High Seas, I saw some people testing it. Poison Tip is interesting, like, compared to, I guess, like, Codex of Blood Rot. So, you're getting a card... I think it's, like, it's a yellow 2 block, right? Let me double check that. Poison. Poison tips. Yeah, yellow 2 blocks, so basically same stat line. You're getting the same reload effect. The only issue is you don't get the blood rot, basically. I think it's like comparable. The only issue with it is like it's kind of like a win more card, right? Okay, so our arsenal is going away next turn, pretty much regardless. We could probably just arsenal the port side anyways, right? Seems fine. I think we're just gonna beat them to death here. So I think we're arsenaling this with the intention of losing it. And then hopefully we draw into like a codex or something. Perfect. But yeah, Poison Tip is interesting because it's like a card that rewards you for like already being ahead, basically, which is like, I don't know. Not also having like the Ponder token, I think is rough. Like, I feel like Codex of Blood Rot is maybe just like a better card. Right, coming in for 7, so I think we don't care. We might actually just like throw the Sunken Treasure here just so that. How many buffs have we seen, I guess? Let's actually take an inventory. So we have 5 here, plus 6, plus 7, plus 8, plus 9, plus 10. So we currently have 7 buffs left in the deck, none of which are in hand. We've seen how much of our deck at this point? Like, probably a good half of it, right? So it's like... It's probably like a little bit lower than like... It's like 40 to 30% of our deck, probably, or something like that. I think we don't have to actually like take the risk here, though. We can probably just block with Sunken, let the Arsenal go, and then just send Codex. Then turn over their Maul, I guess, for disrespect. It's giving the boots worth it here. I think like there's not really like a strong incentive to give the boots because like we don't care about losing portside. That's at least my logic, right? Is like portside is kind of like just do nothing basically in Arsenal. Especially since we don't have the hook, right? So my idea was to like basically just let the Arsenal go, get the gold, and then just kind of have like a setup turn for when we can really pop off. Sitting on 4 gold also like will kind of hopefully make up for losing our hook. Right, so I think we're ripping the shark here. I'm worried marginally about another Warmongers, but I don't know if we're at the point in the game where we can really play around it. If they Warmongers, they can't like enact vengeance, so maybe it's fine. Oh, Colby, finally settled on Mario for my first CC deck. Felt the most accessible for me. Oh, good. Colby, were we talking about like the first your like first deck in the last stream, or I feel like I remember your name from somewhere. I think you were like asking about like Mario versus like Marlynn versus like some other decks. I think Mario is actually like a pretty good choice though. Yeah, they just have like I think a lot of the cards are like fairly inexpensive. Like the codexes, I guess will probably run you a decent number and like the equipment and stuff, but like a lot of that I guess already saw reprints, which is nice. So here I think we're taking their blue, right? So they double strike, they can empowerment the double strike, but then they have to like YOLO into another blue. I think that's the best play, right? Otherwise we're basically just like giving them the they could just like draw like a red D-React off the top or something. I think that's the best strat there. But yeah, I think Marionette's like a really good choice for a first CC deck. Oh, Bluefin's also not terrible. Again, I'm assuming here that we're probably going to end up losing the Arsenal anyways, but there's like a minor chance that they could just wreck here pretty bad. So I'm curious, they have to play the double strike here, which is also really awkward. Because now you just block 6 on the next thing. I guess they can Okana, pump to 7. You have like 8 block on that, and then start cracking some gold. We have 1 3 oak left in the deck, 2 codex. This is an interesting spot to be in. Their hand is currently 2 reds. Oh, they're okay. I guess they're just going to double strike again. Interesting. So in this case, do we want to give up the tunic? I feel like we should just let them have the card at this point because they played basically like 2 below rate cards to get like a 3rd card. So I think we're actually fine just letting the draw happen. Like, they basically played a 0 for 2 into a 0 for 2, so if they draw another card here, I think it's acceptable. I guess them drawing another card does mean, well, they still have Empowerment in their hand. So it doesn't really change anything, like drawing the extra card, right? Because they can always Empowerment draw into a blue and still send anyways. I don't think it changes a lot here. But yeah, I'm kind of like fine with them just sending double strike. So you have 2 cards in hand. Question is, did they find the blue for the edge? I assume they did. We do still have to play around Okana. You don't have Frailty yet, which is, I guess, nice. Oh, and the Vengeance is actually going to be coming in for 6 because of the Frailty. Or it's max 6 because of the Okana, right? Unless they did draw into another Empowerment. Or like a Legacy or something. But I think we'll take those odds, right? So they could blow us out here pretty bad, but we do have like the fallback of just like cracking gold. It's not even like that bad, right? So I think we're going to crack a little bit of gold on this next turn to see if we can just send this for like a little bit more. We do have 2 brick draws in the form of the codexes, though. I think we still need a pop here, though. So ideal draw is like blue into buff. So crack a gold here, hope for a blue. All right, blue is perfect. All right, this is basically like exactly what I wanted, so can't complain. We can go ahead and turn our tunic into another resource. So that was basically like 4-int tunic, or like the 5-int tunic play, but just minus the like we kind of like did it out of order basically. And I guess we'll give it a go again for swag. Okay, blue pen should be nice here though. So they have a random arsenal and then four new cards. Still have a couple D-Reacts, I think, to work through still, right? We have 1 more flick and then 2 more shelters. So we're still a little ways away, but we do have tempo, which is nice. We got a pretty healthy life bleed, and then we're still sitting on 3 armor. I think we're doing all right here. And the added text, I guess, on the blue pin is that we could end up ripping a Warmongers from them. All right, it seems like they have like, is this a block card or is this a react? I guess they still have the Tiger Eyes as well, right? Where are those Tiger Eyes? Did I flip a Tiger? No, I flipped them all over, right? Okay, they may have like 2 more Tiger Eyes or something. Okay, so there's Tiger Eye plus Scar plus Okana. Okay, I am a-okay with this. So the next hand's gonna have to be pretty good, and they also, how many CNCs I guess have they seen? So they still have like 2 Enact Vengeance, 2 CNCs left in the deck. So like them hitting my arsenal actually doesn't matter here. Always got a swag. Yeah, exactly. All right. Oh, excellent hand. So I don't think there's any world where they actually have any disruption for us here, right? Like they need like humble or something weird like that to like turn off our hero ability. They can ball us here. That'd be kind of scary. I guess they could Warmonger us. Yeah, we still have 2 more Warmongers to worry about, which I guess would make sense if they did give us all those blocks there. All right, no Warmongers is good. Unfortunate thing is here we're not getting the hook off the Lone Shark, but I think we're fine with this. Take a little damage, go to 13, and then we're ripping the King Shark next turn. How many buffs do we still have left in the deck? We have 1 big game trophy shot, 1 pre-med, 1 catch, 1 gold. It's 4 plus the 2 Lace with Blood Rot, one of which we bought them pretty early. I think we have 1 live there, so that I think we have like 5 buffs left in our deck. We've seen most of our deck at this point. So I think we should actually crack a little bit of gold here. Start doing it. Like the odds of drawing a buff here I feel like are pretty high. Codex, huh? I think in this case we're not gonna crack any more gold and just go for the 10 here. Should be good enough, or it should at least like keep them off having a big turn, and then we can crack back with the codex on the end. All right, seems good. I guess we're like one off a buff there, but that's fine. We also get to, I guess, pitch the riches here, which is pretty relevant. So keep in mind we did just pitch a buff. So I think we have like 3 buffs left in our deck or something like that, like 3 or 4. It's always just good to try to keep track of like what you think is like left in your first cycle, right? I think it's like roughly like 2 to 3 buffs, something like that. I don't know if we pitched the other lace. I know we bottomed it with like I at one point in the game. I don't know if we got rid of another one in the same way. All right, looks like they're giving us mask plus 3 block plus maybe 4 block, or like maybe D-react here. We still have 3 reacts potentially left here. Interesting. All right, we get a Seek Vengeance out of them. I guess we don't have to worry about Okana anymore, which is also kind of nice. So, okay, connect, fantastic. Then I think, is there even a choice here? I feel like the obvious choice is to take an act, right? Yeah. If this was an attack, I think we'd take that, obviously, but I think an act is just like the most amount. They could have like another one in Arsenal or whatever. But I think that's fine. We still have some armor to like buffer the disruption here. It's bottom. Alright, I guess we did have 1 lace with blood rot still left in first cycle. So I think we're gonna say no box here. We don't really care about the tiger, and then we might end up blocking whatever their last chain link is if they have another one. They could roar us here and go to like how scared I guess do I have to be of like another maul? Okay, it was just CNC. Okay, so we do ideally want to protect this, which means we have to give up like Sea Lace plus. That's kind of awkward. I guess we like give up the lace with blood rot now. We do have another codex somewhere in the deck. I just don't know where is the issue. Is there a better block? I don't think there is, right? Can we just accept this? We're still not in bad shape though. We still have a ton of gold we can crack. Our deck should be mostly blues at this point. We used all our 3 oaks. So the chances of us actually like being able to rip the big game trophy shot are quite high here. We're actually getting them pretty low in cards in deck, which is also kind of funny. All right, catch is good. That means we can keep the crack train rolling. Let's try find another blue. Okay, perfect. And I think we crack. So it's interesting here. If we big game trophy shot and then we don't hit a blue, then it's awkward. Are we through? We have to be probably through first cycle, I imagine, right? So I feel like the odds of us hitting a blue here are actually like semi-high. Let's actually go for it, I think. Let's go for the trophy shot now because the math works out the cleanest if we hit a blue. All right, we hit a codex. Just fine. I guess that's just reroll. Now we do one more time. Still looking for a blue. There we go. Okay. So our codex, our last codex we pitched, which is a little unfortunate, but we get to resolve this one, which I think is more important. So we rip this one for 14, which should be good enough here. They still have some number of D-reacts probably, but although like they are probably also through first cycle mostly, right? So maybe they are actually like not running all shelters or flicks or whatever. All right, they got CNC back. Then what are we? All right, pitching a sensor. So if it's double D react plus a 3 block, I think we still kill, right? Because it's, or no, we don't kill, but they can't play a CNC at us, which is basically a kill. So I think we should be in okay shape here. I imagine maybe double D react, or okay, maybe those double D react is like best case scenario there. Let's see actually what they had left. So they still had that one flick. Maybe they're on 2 shelter, 3 flick, 3 sink, or something like that. This is a kind of an interesting IRA list. Some suspect cards here. I guess like the Roar of the Tiger Maul thing is kind of interesting, but like I don't even think that was good in Zen, right? So I don't know how good it is in IRA, but maybe IRA enjoyers in chat can prove me wrong. All right, let's try how we've been doing actually tonight. Let's take a look. Go back to the list. All right, what are our results for tonight? Let's see. What do we start with? We start with the KO, right? So we just lost that one into the KO, and then doing pretty well otherwise. Okay, let's keep it up. But yeah, I think the deck list should be posted in chat. Let me go ahead and post it again in case anyone new joined in. But yeah, we'll go ahead and keep grabbing some games. I think we still got like another 40 or so minutes left, so we got plenty of time. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can get another. It's not that one, apparently. I could play against Jarl, but I feel like Jarl is actually a pretty good matchup for this deck, which is kind of funny. All right, we can play against a Slippy. I don't know if I want to go first or second in this matchup. It feels very close. I feel like second is still probably correct. I don't feel... Okay. They left, so I guess we don't get to find out. But I've actually felt like pretty good about that matchup. All right. First into Dio. This is one of the swingiest matchups of all time. I kind of like despise this matchup, but we're going to run it out. There's one... Okay, I guess we're not going to do that one either. One thing to think about against like Dio is... one thing I've considered is like running tar pits if you're going like second, just because like there is like maybe like a minor out of like trying to fatigue them, but it seems like a little bit suspect. Okay, Prism. All right, going first. This matchup is kind of cursed, but we'll make the best of it. Sure. So normally what Prisms will do is like the aura plan into you. Like I've not seen a ton of like Herald beat down into us, which is I think interesting. But typically they're on like just doing like the big aura plan plus like vestige and stuff. If you can get some good poppers early, this matchup becomes pretty good, but otherwise it can be a little bit suspect once they see like their first arc light. They might be thinking here. Yeah, but this matchup is I don't know. It feels like just very, very swingy. I like actually beat the last 2 Prisms I played, but like it didn't really feel... It felt like more like their deck was failing them as opposed to like my deck actually doing well. I found the Tar Pit and the King Kraken, which could be good. Alright, they are on Vestige, which is to be expected. Oh, Ripping Halo turn 1 too. Okay, interesting. Alright, getting our Erudition. They gonna like Arclight me turn 1 or something? Interesting. In this case, what am I supposed to do here? I think I'm supposed to hold this popper, right? Because we might want to send it on the next turn. And we'll just like Tar Pit here. Yeah, Dio's in a really good spot post-ban, I think. Like it seems like KO and Dio have actually kind of like replaced Syndra as like the predominant aggro deck. Feels pretty close still though. Playing out the passing is definitely a thing. I actually wonder if I'm supposed to run Honing in this matchup. I guess it's like pretty much the same, right? Issue is that Kraken is not very good against them. We're probably still ripping it here anyways, though. Yeah, losing Halo turn 1 is like kind of weird. Might make sense though. Oh, Battery Bolt's like not bad. Arsenal King Kraken is like mildly annoying, but could be worse, I guess. That'd be annoying for them if they have any number of like Pigments or big auras in hand, because then they have to like play them out preemptively. Like, I feel like normally how I win this matchup is they don't see Arclight, and then I hit them with a Harpoon 10 times in the face. and that's how I typically win these. And also just like denying soul, I think is very important, right? Hoping they don't show me like the 4 Herald hand, because that would probably be like worst case scenario. Yeah, his matchup's not great, Rob. I'll be the first to admit, but I have actually won like the last 2, or I beat the last 2 prisms I played against, so it can be done. It's just like you kind of just hope they don't have the Arclight early, and then yellow pummel, bruh. The hell is that? Oh, we hit their Triumph, I guess, which is kind of funny. So they might be setting up like library turn 1 or something. I don't know. Their hand's not actually that good, right? They're on 6 pummel. Oh god, terrified. I guess his hand still kind of blows them up though, right? Assuming that they just slam library pass. Oh, this prism is on 9 pummel. That's kind of hilarious. All right, I guess let's go ahead and just send it here. For what it's worth, we could have... Oh, wait, actually... Hold on. Let's actually think about this. I could break library here. Wait, do I get go again if I do this? I do get go again. All right, chat. Get informal poll. Do we break the library or do we not break the library? Asking for a friend. I think the answer is we don't break library. But I think like sending 13 plus getting the gold generation going is maybe worth it. Like how many libraries are they actually like how many triggers are they realistically going to be able to get here? I think it's don't break library. All right. I think I'm gonna follow my gut here, but I could see I could see breaking library also being correct. But let's go for it. I can get +1 in if I draw another yellow. Oh, that's true. We'll see. Okay. Not sending another one here. I actually think I'm going to crack gold to try to find one more resource here. So if we do, then we can Arsenal King Shark, which I think is pretty good. I ideally would like to do that. We don't have a Ponder token currently, so. All right, blue is fantastic. So like this is typically how I win against Prism. Not saying that I'm winning this game, right? But like typically what I do is I beat them to death with a harpoon until they die. So yeah, I don't know. The turn 1 Halo was also really awkward. I mean, this is kind of like working out for us though. I feel like it doesn't feel that bad. If they have an aura in hand, we can take it. I don't know. There's definitely like some things that they could have that are actually kind of fine for us. All right, Soul Shield is a little bit annoying. So we Arsenal the King Shark. A double Soul Shield. Okay, terrifying. But at least the nice thing is they aren't getting a library and then they aren't doing anything next turn. So it could be worse, I guess. And we have 2 Soul Shields, I guess, out of the way. I feel like this is fine for us, kind of. Like, about as fine as double Soul Shield could be, right? I do have another Pierce in Arsenal, which is fine. So I think at this point we just need to keep them off being able to do anything. Which means we probably want to hold on to the Tar Pit, actually. Probably they have 3 soul already, so like... maybe that doesn't actually do anything. Oh, we could actually just break the library now. Is that worth it? It actually probably is worth it. Alright, we're gonna do it for the fans. Alright, goodbye, library. Discarding that, I almost like wanted to IP with the Tar Pit there a little bit. I think I am also just gonna YOLO hook this. They break my hook, it's not the end of the world. They did just use 2 Soul Shields, so I'm imagining they're probably not running a ton more D-Reacts, especially with like 6 pummels. I feel like this is safe, but if they flip like Erudition and block that way, then I'm also happy with that, so I don't know. Let's see what they got here. Runner, King Shark is definitely quite nice. So we still have a decent number of poppers left in the deck. We could also draw our last tar pit, would be pretty good. All right, we get a peek at their hand. Interesting. So Erudition, Sekhem, Triumph. What is the play here? So I feel like Erudition is probably the scariest one to me. Yeah, I think the library break was fine there. Let's go ahead and take. So like the Triumph's only 3 and it doesn't give them go against. They have to pitch like the war here. I think we're doing the Erudition, right? It also means they can't like Sekhem easily, right? All right, so I think they're probably gonna start contemplating the Erudition at least. At least I would be. We could. So they have a blue Triumph in hand, which they could play, and then Arsenal Sekhem. All right, they are gonna go for the flip here. So Sekhem plus 1 other or 2 other unknown cards here. Right, see what they got. I think we're just sending full face next turn though. And just hoping they don't draw Arclight. I don't care about Parable. Parable is, I guess, a little bit annoying. It makes the tipple a little bit worse, but the tipple was already kind of bad with like footsteps and stuff, right? Alright, so let's go for the salvage here. I guess we're arsenaling the 3-oak. No, we probably actually do want to crack some number of gold. Let's get rid of the Triumph, I guess, so they can't buy back. I don't think they would have the time to necessarily, though. Alright, another Kraken is whatever. Crack a little bit more. I want to see if I can find like 1 buff here so we can rip the 3-oak. Awkward set of draws. So I guess now we're just ripping it, right? Alright, Riches is not bad. I don't know why I'm running Riches. I guess Riches is kind of interesting for breaking library, I guess, but probably actually not that great in this matchup. Do we want to IP? Well, IPing with the Kraken doesn't really do anything, right, against Pierce? I guess it's still debating whether or not I even want to pitch this. I feel like having a popper is still semi-relevant here, though. I guess we'll still IP with it. And I guess we also get free hook because of the Riches and the Sunken here. And let's go ahead and fire it off. What are the odds that they're able to block another 5? Or like block 9 and keep the Soraya alive? I guess that would be annoying, but I don't know how likely that is. I think we should still go face. Like they need the 3rd Soul Shield or some other number of cards to cover. I feel like going face here is still the plan, though. Alright, maybe they're just going to go for the 3 block here. Keeping Soraya alive is definitely awkward, but I don't know if there was necessarily a better play. What did I walk into? I think we're doing okay against this Prism, to be honest. I don't even think this is that bad. Like could be better. Like they have a lot of auras out, but if we just ignore the auras and we go face, it doesn't matter, right? We're having a moment with Prism here. Alright, they got double Parable, which we're not going to be able to clear ever, which is fine. I guess we Arsenal Shark here. Oh, this is great. This is great. All right, just don't find Arclight and we're golden. This is actually how a lot of my past Prism matches have gone. It's just like they don't find Arclight and then I just kind of win. It's kind of cool. So let's hope that we can do the same thing again. I think I'm actually supposed to pitch the Kraken here because they haven't really done anything the past couple turns. And I think I'm not hooking here because we haven't made a gold, right? Don't want to give them priority Arclight as well. We're doing fine, Ben. We're doing fine. See, like, we're at 36 to their 11. Prism historically cannot deal 40 damage while staying at 1 health, you know? We're fine. And we also got rid of Soraya. So, I think we're actually kind of in an okay spot. We got 3 oak for Arsenal. We got all our armor. Yeah, we're chilling. All right. Oh, Ben, did you hear we unsolved Marlyn again? That was the joke, at least. I know that the one guy who said, what was it? Something like, you saying Marlyn is solved is like bad for deck design or something, or like bad for deck evolution or whatever. Something like that. But we're still blowing that one person. Blowing that one person in purple. Yeah, I don't know. I still feel like there's actually still a lot of room to experiment with this deck. I think that's actually why I like this deck so much, is like it doesn't feel fully solved still. Like even when it is like mostly solved, it doesn't feel like fully solved. Alright, get them to 2. Please no Arclight still. I feel like if they had the Arclight though, they would have gone for it. Pummel. Okay, we take the War Tune there. I feel like this is good for us though, right? They can't pummel us really. Oh, you want to test what is Bolt and Boots? I have not actually read this card. Bolt and Boots. Destroy this target air attack with greater than space. Let's go again. I guess over Sarong. I don't know. Like 2 block on Sarong is like still like kind of fine though. Alright, they get a little extra soul here. There's no on hit to this at least, which is kind of nice. Like they don't get to Tutor Figment here. Alright, let that hit. Oh, the Battle Warrant. Interesting. That's fair, I guess. Like, what are we trying to give go again? I guess is the question. Maybe just random like Yellowpin or something. I could see it. All right, please no Arclight next turn. All right, just going for Sakem and I guess Arsenal Pummel. This doesn't have an on hit, right? So we can safely ignore. All right, issue with this next hand is that we currently do not have an arrow, but we will find one, I think. Could be in a little bit of danger here if they find a good Arclight and can pivot off that, but like they still don't have any Figments out. Okay, Lace. Imagine this is an Arclight pause. It feels like an Arclight pause. The funny thing is, if they go for it too early, then we can just like make a Goldfin Arsenal Codex pass. I feel like this is still fine for us. I almost wonder if we're supposed to actually just make a Goldfin here. Interesting. Like Goldfin probably still kills, right? Make the Goldfin. I guess the question, we still have a lot of arrows in our deck. Ah, fuck it. We're gonna pretend like there's not an Arclight. I mean, there's almost certainly is, but like we're still gonna, like, regardless of what we do here, we're gonna Arsenal Codex at the end of our turn anyways. So it still seems fine. Alright, Battering Bolt is sufficient, I think. Probably good enough, right? Could go 1 deeper, but I don't even think we need to, because if the Battering Bolt resolves, then the Codex on the next turn will kill. Okay, so they had the Arclight, which is fine here. I'm kind of actually glad we didn't go for more gold cracks, just so we can conserve it a little bit. Right, we will battering down that Arclight. I think I am gonna actually filter a bit here as well, just like get a Codex and an extra blue out of her hand. They're doing nothing. They have a yellow pummel still in Arsenal. Nothing else going on. So I think we're fine here. Yeah, over pitching the second Codex to Cannon there. I think I'm also getting rid of the extra blue just in case we draw into more blues like we did here. Yeah. I know the line, Ben. I played this deck once or twice. A couple times. On this hand, do we want to crack any gold? I feel like just anything. Like, we could tickle them and they die, right? So we should just keep tickling them until they die. Just keep making them play at Arclights, right? And then we can just like Arsenal Battering Bolt for next turn. Seems okay. Like, I don't think we even need to really overcommit here. Just like keep forcing them to play out Arclights until we eventually get something through, right? This is, I guess, a matchup where the Codex of Bloodrot, I guess, is a little bit nicer than Lace, right? Codex Bloodrot is actually kind of a powerhouse in this matchup, just because like you can use it to like Angel clear. But I feel like I don't really build my Marlyn decks thinking about Prism. I don't actually think about this deck all that much. I feel like. All right. Opponent's in the tank. Yeah, but do y'all have a moment to actually talk about Fab Foundry, our sponsor for today's stream? I hope you all enjoy. I hope you all enjoyed our creative advertising, I guess, on the last Marlyn video. We try to keep our advertising a little bit funny as opposed to I don't know, bland, I guess. I guess we had that one ad that was running for a while, right? I don't know. We're gonna try to make our ads a little bit funnier, I guess. We'll see. There's only so much you can do with an ad, right? All right, so we still have the yellow pummel. They give us. I'm trying to think what they can actually even give us here. Like, what is their optimal hand they can keep here? I don't think there's much they can do, right? Not with the yellow pummel in Arsenal, at least. This list is AB0, right? So just Race and Averance and Acilia. Yeah, that's basically the plan. I think Taylor and I were talking, or Taylor, Ben, and I were talking, like, in our like private chat recently about like just cutting AB, and like I think it makes a lot of sense, right? Because like AB1 is really only relevant into, I guess, like Florian and Vincent, I guess, which, like, I don't know. It's like, I think AB1 is about as high as I would go, basically. Anything over that, and you're kind of like getting diminishing returns. But even like AB1 doesn't really help all that much. I kind of just like the quiver mostly. Acilia and Vincent, yeah. Like, I think you could probably run it for Acilia. It seems like they maybe just like had a do nothing hand there. This deck seems like super clunky. I don't know. It seems like they're also only on 4 pummels into us or something. I don't know. Pummel Prism, maybe not today. Silamella says, have you tested the more Fatigue Marley? I've actually tested that deck. Like, I haven't like extensively tested that deck because the core problem with that deck is like something you can see in the first like 5 games playing with that deck. I think I probably played like 5 or 10 games on that like Fatigue Marlin list just to kind of like see what the hype was about, I guess. We can kind of go back to talking about this list again. I don't like bragging on this list too much because I think there's some really cool ideas here. But like the core problem with any deck that's running like 11 D-Reacts is like being proactive is really, really painful, right? So you want your opponent to be doing stuff into you, and then you can use like the most of your cards and then just like keep sending damage. The issue with this deck is like being proactive is really, really bad. So into some matchups like Verdance or like Marionette or like other decks where you have to be like, you have to like disrupt them or else you lose, right? This deck struggles into that basically. And I think that kind of shows in the data, right? Like if you look at some of the like matchup spreads, like Marionette is a 1 to 9, at least on community results, and then like it seems like this deck does pretty well in the grave, which makes sense. And then like Syndra seems pretty bad too. Like I don't know, the matchup spreads here are not incredibly inspiring, is I guess what I'll say. Happy holidays, Juan. How's it going? The Prism list for reference needed you to not have King Shark on one of the mid turns. Oh, is that how we kind of like one there? Basically, like having a really good King Shark turn. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But anyways, like this is like, I don't know. The community win rate here is not super inspiring here. Like if you actually look at, hold on, let me actually go pull open a recent deck win rate. Let's look at the post ban list. So we look at this list. Okay, I guess our community win rate is pretty bad. Okay, our community win rate's not doing great. It's 31%. So I guess maybe we have a similar problem. Maybe community win rate's not like a very indicative thing. I feel like we had a good list recently that had like a really high community win rate though.
It was Terra.
Was it Terra?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was Terra. Hold on.
Because you shamed everyone for.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Your
that's
win
true.
rate being like 90%.
But even like this recent Marlynn list, or let me look at my community results in this one. Like we had like 48% on this one, which felt a little bit better. Like 166 games on the Syndra Smacker 9000. I don't know. Like I think that like this deck had like if you look at like the kind of like key contenders in the meta, this is also like pre-ban, right? So like I imagine these matchups actually get like a little bit better. But, like we were like 5 and 10 in Marina, which is like fine, but we were like 10 and 4 in a Syndra. Like that's pretty good actually. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe some bias or whatever. All right, let's see if we can get one more game. Let me go back to Talishar. I don't want to bully Max. Let's leave the Max alone. But that's kind of like my overall problem with the fatigue plan is that like, so it's very cool, right? Because you're doing something that your opponent's not expecting, which is always like a good thing in Fab, right? If your opponent like boards for one thing and then they you do another thing, that's obviously a good thing. But like the thing you're doing isn't even like that strong, basically. That's like my core critique of that deck. All right, playing against potential fan here. All right, let's load up the dashboard. Oh, we're just going to take a look at my stream. All right, maybe got a stream sniper in chat, but I don't know how much this actually matters in the Dio matchup. So, no snipe, please. Or do I don't think it matters. I think it was one of those matchups where like you can probably like play with both like hands like basically face up and like the outcome will be largely the same. I don't know. We'll see. That's very funny though. All right, they do win the die roll though, which is definitely a bit scary. I thought about hunting hood in this matchup just to like load a random arrow turn one, but yeah. I think Dominion's still stronger. Alright, I would very much like to block with this hand. This hand is kind of crap. I mean, it's fine. We got, I guess, Goldfin for 13, but if you're setting Goldfin for 13 against Dio, it's pretty bad. Boom Grenade set up turn 0. Ooh, we get Quiver filtering here. Do we want to take Quiver filtering? I think I do. I think I just need to find like any Disruptive Harpoon. Look at that. That's 2 filtering value Quiver. That's insane. And we also didn't get a random crappy Arsenal. See, look at that. Oh, insane Quiver of Abyssal Depths value. Okay, so now what we're doing. We can tipple. If we tipple, do that, we discard. Oh, Nate's giving us a frown in chat. But that was an insane Quiver of Abyssal Depths, right? That was like the highest value Quiver of Abyssal Depths I think I've ever seen. I think we're just YOLOing here. I was debating whether or not tipple is actually correct. So we can take game. I think there's not a world where we take game the tipple, right? No, I don't think so. Yeah, no fear BGTS. We haven't seen like any arrows. We put 2 cards on the bottom. Our chances of hitting here are pretty high. All right. Hey, Pseudo, did you say that our chances of hitting here were pretty high? It doesn't look very high to me. All right, we get some insane filtering here. and then we're gonna pass the turn. Unlucky, unlucky. What were our odds there? We pitched. What do we pitch? What's at the bottom of our deck right now? Do we pitch an arrow? I don't think we did. So someone look back. Do we pitch an arrow in that opening hand? I think it was like taking him in blue, right? It's just like a random like sunken treasure or something, I think. Alright, I think we're cooked here. But we will soldier on. Unlucky. That is like kind of like the merit of running like the withering shots though, is like not having that fail condition. Yeah, let's not get in pre-med. So we had 2 in the deck. We pitched. So 2 in the bottom. We had 6-card hand. We drew 3. Yeah, we're like 96% or something. Okay, whatever. We hit the 4%. That's fine. All right, we will show them Sleep Dart. All right, thank you for doing the math there, Pseudo. Did you do the math assuming that we're 20 arrows? I imagine you did, but maybe. Because I think this list is only on 20. Maybe the math's like slightly worse. All right, unfortunate. The trophy shot is awkward here, but we'll make the best of it. Slightly painful. All right, so it's trophy. Oh, you're doing it with 22. Okay, that makes sense. All right, gas. All right, we're not gonna break off this 3 oak. No way. All right, so pass here. Oh no, not 3 oak. Sorry, whoops. All right, hold on. Let's see what they. All right, take him first, then 3 oak. All right, slightly cheating. So, question here is Redfin versus Yellowfin into Dio. They have a lot of good yellows in their deck. I'm like tempted to go for the Yellowfin. If we snipe a Spark here, that's actually like. I'm gonna get a little greedy here. I'm gonna go for the Yellowfin. This could be wrong. Dad, if this is wrong, like scream at me. I'm kind of tempted though. I feel like I normally send Redfin in that position, but I think the Yellowfin actually has a lot of merit. Oh, we should be hooking this, by the way. I'm bad. I did have to bottom a card, so you're fine. So it should be up 1 gold here. Fortunately, maybe they could have also sunk a yellow, so I don't actually know. I feel like there are a lot of scary yellows that we do care about. I think if I had a bluefin, I would send that over either of those 2, though. T-Bone is fine. So you have 2 Fast and Furious in hand and another T-Bone. Their hand's not amazing. Yeah, being bad is definitely in the name. Alright. So, we did misplay one turn this game, but we did also get some bad RNG the other turn, so yeah, whatever. I do want to block with this King Shark eventually, but I don't necessarily see a reason to do so now. We also don't have to block with it. It's just kind of efficient to do so with the pre-med. Is there another line here? We could like Redfin, Sea Lace, crack, draw blue, King Shark or something. All right, 93% is still pretty good. We take those odds. We lose 7% of games. That's fine. Yeah, unlucky. So the question here is whether or not I want to actually get rid of this King Shark. It's like tempting. They have not Dio, or they have Dio. They got the technical. I think I just want the random arsenal though, and just cashing in the 3 value. I think makes sense here because like hitting, if we had the extra gold, it would actually be better, right? Because we could more easily guarantee the second loan. All right, coming in with max V. This might just be a bad beats, unfortunately, but could technically have been up on 1 more gold, so maybe a little bit of misplay as well. Alright, that's pre-med. I think I'm not going to port side because I didn't make that extra gold. Oh, we'll, if Talus Shuffler been wild tonight? Yeah, true. Alright, so we have 7 here, 3 here, so they should not be able to block this. So let's try to rip a red here. That being said, we're most likely dead, assuming that they have an above average Dio draw. Alright, what we got here? We got a Zipper Hit, a Cerebellum, and a Backup Protocol red. I feel like Zipper Hit's the choice, right? We block the Expedite so that they can't put one of their items into play and generate the action point. I think that makes the most amount of sense, right? Just taking the highest damage value card. Although that being said, they still have the Backup Protocol, so I don't know. I guess we'd rather than play out the Backup Protocol, though. So maybe still fine. We're not completely out of this yet. If they have like a bad set of draws next turn, we could be in business. We need a couple things to go our way, though. They have 2 floating, they Backup Protocol, buyback. Fast and Furious here coming for 4. So we do just need to deny the on hit here, which means I think we just give up the equipment. I think this makes sense. Alright, not going for anything off the top. I imagine they're going to Backup Protocol, Crank. Okay, they're going to go for the Teklo first. So I guess they can still like get back the Zipper Hit, right? Play it. And then play out like Cerebellum or something. They got some stuff they can do here still. But I'm kind of okay with this. So if we send an arrow, how much was that coming in for? What was our first turn? First turn was like, do we take it, or do we block with the trophy shot? I forgot. I think we like played the take game 3-0 or something like that. I can't remember if we trophy shot it though. Right, so I think we accept death by broom grenade. I guess we don't have to. We could theoretically give a block here. I feel like we just need to like hope they don't run hot though. So the last card in hand is Cerebellum. They can play it. They've seen 1 boom grenade. There's a chance that they have 5 boom grenades in the deck, like hypothetically. So maybe we do have to actually give a block here. Maybe we're so far behind though that we can't afford it though. Like maybe we just have to hope they send 7 here or something. I think I'm still okay with this play. They play out Cerebellum. Frank. Draw? Okay. Yeah, I guess I like this line. I guess this gives us like the highest odd. Like, this is the line where we are trying to win the game as opposed to like not losing the game. And then I think we're going to go for some more gold Kraken here. If we can send this for, okay, double, that probably ends the gold cracking. I know, we can probably crack 1 more, right? Go for 1 more. All right, blue's perfect. So we're still sending 15, and we get to Arsenal Kraken for next turn, which may or may not matter. I was going to try to go for like the catch of the day and see if we can get them on like a really awkward hand, but I think we're probably still not winning this one. Put up a good fight though. I think if we hit that first 3-0, we're probably winning this game. Unlucky. All right, see what they got. All right, no non-attacks. Unlucky. All right. For what it's worth in this matchup, I do think that sending King Shark is on average better than sending King Kraken. But can't always have it line up. So I think they pretty much got us dead here. Oh yeah, we are super, super dead. think I'll go ahead and scoop it up. Give him a good game. Also, my mouse is like freaking out. Hold on. Send them a GG's. Yeah, I think there's no way we live there, right? They have zipper hit 060. Yeah, unlucky. But yeah, that's one of those 7% games where you just like lose off the first 3 oak. We could have made a Gulfin there, but I think in the wise words of Taylor Crawford and Ben, I don't think you ever make a Gulfin on that hand rate. It's just kind of like setting a Gulfin is also kind of a death sentence against Diode, right? Because not disrupting is basically the same as like it's kind of like sending vanilla damage, right? Let's try to get one last one. Let's try can't end in a loss, right? We could practice an Verdance. I've actually not minded the Verdance matchup as much if they're not on like the 9 direct plan. Goliath is interesting, but I also don't love that matchup. Yeah, Taylor is very wise. He's got the Unk energy. Still need to figure out what's. I need to get a new mouse at some point. This mouse has seen better days. Oh, okay. Acilio is actually a good one to practice. All right, they're gonna run it first. Let's bring in the quiver. Why is my mouse just like freaking out? All right. King Shark, battering bolt. All right, they're leaving because they know it's a rough matchup. All right. I actually like, unplug my mouse real quick. It's my mouse. I actually don't know if I can safely unplug this without breaking the stream. Hold on, one more time. Spaz out though. Give it a good shake. All right, that feels better. All right, let's get one last good one. I know we can do it. Let's see if we can not maybe go bully some poor stranger. Let's go. Let's try this one. Nope. All right, this one. All right, we can play against a Fang. Fang board looks correct. I've gone back and forth on Croc and Shark, but I think Shark is still generally correct. I don't feel super strongly either way, though. I think it depends on the Fang list more than anything. All right, we'll give him a good luck, have fun, though. All right, board looks right. Yeah, chat, let me know what you think about this matchup, particularly. I think I still lean towards Shark. The one thing that I'm like a little bit scared, like with Kraken, I feel like I don't hit with it very often. But the one nice thing about Kraken is it does take Saber and Warmongers if they're on it. Yeah, I think I still lean towards Shark, though. Yeah, I still like Shark, I think. What do we want to do on this first hand? I think I kind of like just blocking like battering Tipple here. They are floating too, so they could tooth me, but I think that's still generally correct. Oh, yeah, Pledge is also kind of a punish, but that's fine. So now, are we giving up the King Shark, or are we holding on to it? This kind of sucks. Yeah, the Pledge punish is always brutal. Am I giving the King Shark here? I think I'm not supposed to. I think having this is actually, like, fairly relevant. Is it more relevant than, like, denying a mark, though? It's close. Not really denying a mark by doing this, though, because they can still pump over. I guess blocking on turn 1's good. Feels bad, though. Alright, we'll find a better, hopefully. At least that's what I'll tell myself. So we could theoretically quiver with Eye of Ophidia. It's actually like kind of good because I guess we get to buy back one of our harpoons in our deck. I think it's probably still bad though, right? All right, this is good. So we can tip here, rip 3 oak. Doing my best to fight against my mouse here. Is Bluefin relevant? We did see that they're on some number of blues, but I think we're maybe supposed to keep this as a failsafe and bottom the port side. I think that makes sense. Yeah, blocking with the King Shark there was a little unfortunate. All right, but we have a good hand. We're sending 11. The blue pin's probably not relevant, but might take a card out of their hand. Then we get to Arsenal trophy shot here, which is nice. Trying to get my mouse to stop freaking out. And they got the shelter here. Sure. So maybe they're, yeah, another secondary react here. Makes sense. Is why we do not go for hook on 11. But could be worse. Our Fang opponent does have a really good start here. Like, they're probably going to get to 3 fealty pretty easily here, I imagine. We'll do our best. I do think in general you do want to go first in this matchup. No, I think you still want to go second, right? No, you still want to go second, I think. Yeah, we'll just let them out of the mark here. I think a tooth. So they should be getting the 3 fealty here, but at least the nice part is they want to dagger again. They do have to pitch a card. Okay, I'm glad to see that. Go. Yeah, I guess that's an argument for running Warmongers in this matchup. Does this mean we're gonna get Warmongers again, though? I think not, right? I think they're just going for damage off this hand. I guess it makes some sense. Interesting. Okay, so they might not be at the full fealty yet, but depends on, I guess, on what this last card is. All right, so they got it. Good. Yeah, pretty good start from our Fang opponent here. All right, let's crack gold. Trophy shot. Interesting. Is Catch of the Day on a Redfin worth it into Fang? We'd go to no gold, but we would be sending in for 14. My mouse was a menace on the last Marlynn video. Have you tried giving it cheese? I'll try that next time. I think we are gonna go for Catch though. Feels bad if they can cover, so they have 6 armor here. I almost want to play the shark just to get the gold, because like I imagine the Catch of the Day is not resolving in a normal world, right? They have summer reacts. I guess they could. Wait, Wait, did they not affirm? Oh, did they not generate a fealty off affirm? Wait, why didn't they? Am I missing something here? Shouldn't they be at 3? Oh, you think we're going for Catch? All right, I'll do Catch for the fans. I'm debating on whether or not we hook though. I think we don't hook, right? I think I'm not gonna hook because if this hits, we win the game anyways. Basically. So wait, why didn't they make? Am I missing something here? Didn't they mark us here? Did we not get marked? Where am I missing a fealty? Because I thought they should be at 3. All right, pretty good Redfin if we get the Saber and the Scar Tissue out of them, though. All right, Redfin. Warmongers. Yuck. Okay, I guess we cry. Unlucky. So they Warmonger. Well, Warmongers isn't even that bad, right? Because I guess they don't have a way to keep their fealty around. Could be worse, I guess. So they make a fealty Warmongers fast or something? I thought they had 2 links with the Affirm, didn't they? At least I could have sworn they did. Alright, so get us with the Warmongers here, which is fine. So I guess we're doing... We do Peace, right? And then we just crack Quiver, Arsenal Codex Pass. It's okay. Unlucky. All these Warmonger gamers. Alright, We can shuffle like a Redfin back. I think that's fine. But otherwise, maybe Battering Bolt's also fine to shuffle back. I like the option though. Let's shuffle a Redfin back, I guess. Right, Codex in Arsenal. Okay, it's a good hand. One thing that's awkward though is they have not shown themselves to really necessarily be a like more attack oriented Fang, or at least I don't think I've seen an attack out of them. But the nice thing is their fealty is like partially reset here. But yeah, maybe there wasn't 2 links on the Affirm. Maybe I missed that. I could have sworn there were though. Or maybe they didn't like mark or something. I don't know. I'll probably have to watch that game back. Alright, go ahead and let them have it here. Alright, no follow up here is nice. Okay, so this is a good hand. Oh, they couldn't Saber Bloodshed, which is also kind of funny. Fang anti-synergy here. Alright, pretty straightforward turn here, though. Catch, and I think we are still just sending the King Shark here. It might still be on some number of attacks. We don't really know that for sure. We can also get the Battering Bolt. Maybe Battering Bolt's actually better. Because we're not seeing a single attack, right? So maybe taking them off of the reacts in hand is actually a little bit better. And just keeping them off the fealty, I think, makes sense. We would lose out on the Catch of the Day trigger, but I don't think the Catch of the Day trigger is like relevant anyways. So I think that's fine. I kind of like just sending the Battering here. At least makes them like give up a bunch of stuff, right? Like they don't just get to hold like a handful of like reacts if they want to. I feel like this kind of makes sense. Until they show us like a attack, I don't think we're gonna try to prioritize sending the King Shark. All right, they're thinking about it, so that makes me think the Battering Bolt maybe is a little bit better. We still got a game though. Still have that 1 gold we're sitting on. We have 2 3-Oaks left in the deck, 1 Codex, some big game trophy shots. We got some plays. So I think this is one of those Fangs where the Krakens would have definitely been a little bit better. At least looking at it, like they're running at least 3 copies of each of these, maybe. So Fang gamers, I have a question for you. Is Warmongers actually even really that good in Fang? Because it seems like that one turn that they had it, they just like drew in a Saber and then it was super awkward, right? Alright, looks like they were on some number of attacks though. So they had the overcrowded. Okay, that's pretty good. They shelter. Alright, so they do cover here. But could be worse. We also got a Hunt Send out of them, so I think that's maybe fine. That being said, it wasn't live yet. Oh, another Battering Bolt. Okay. I think the play next turn is going to be Sunken Block, or just send Battering for 10. Question is, do we want to block in this chain link? I think we probably do. Go ahead and just turn over something random in their graveyard, or our graveyard. We don't have gold. It is overcrowded. We're turning over. Probably not, right? Just make sure we have our gold set up. They do have to try to keep their fealty around, so they kind of have to play something in this chain link. And it might get to 3 here. Okay, but we'll not block here. They have it, they have it. Now let's try to keep them off fealty another turn. So we do have 4 like 5 in Tunic play. Yeah, like that's kind of like the weird thing about this list is it doesn't seem they're on like the attack action stuff, so like doesn't the Warmongers get worse if you're running like non-attacks? I don't know. This is maybe just me coping that Fang shouldn't be running Warmongers. All right. Trophy Shot can stay. Sleep Dart can go, I think. So again, like Trophy Shot on King Shark. Let's fire off the battering bolt again. Should hopefully still be pretty annoying for debating whether or not cracking the gold there was worth it, but I think the answer is probably no, right? Just sitting on some number of gold just to like have a buffer in case we brick super hard is, I think, always worth it. Looks like we've eaten through 3 out of the 6 potential 4 block D-reacts at least. So I don't think we're doing too bad. And we still kept them off field too pretty well here, and we got a Fire and Brimstone and a Scar Tissue out of them. Alright, that's definitely worth. Got the rest of their armor too. I think they still... Okay, they've also used the Brave Forge. So they only have 2 armor from now on, which is really good. I'm kind of hoping they actually go for another Warmongers here pretty soon, because then we can punish them with the Shark. I feel it hoses your opponent way more, Rune Blades and Rangers. It might still be worth to run if you're mostly React Back deck. I think that makes sense. Again, I'm not like a Fang expert, so I have no idea. So they pitched the Hunsen, which is nice here. So we got like 2 Hunsens out of them, which is, I think, a pretty big deal. I guess the question is, like, are we trying to give them full beta here for any reason? I don't think so, right? See what they got. Yeah, they got a Blistering, that's fine. We'll find an opportunity to use the Gold Bait Hook later. We're still not getting that 3rd fealty, which is really nice for us. At least not yet. I'm actually kind of curious they swung here. Maybe just to reset dynamos or whatever. Feels like low EV though. So we can do some stuff next turn. Again, I don't think they're really a attack action thing, so the King Shark's probably not going to do very much, but damage is a damage, right? Let's go for the Trophy Shot here. We might end up pitching the gold tip depending on what we draw. So is cracking gold here good? They should still have Oath and for the Drakai. That is true. So it could still snipe something here. The question here is it worth it to crack our last gold to salvage the King Shark? We could just send, what is this, 16? 16 is not bad, right? No, we can Arsenal take game. Yeah, I think we're just pump Tunic, and then save a take game for later. Yeah. I think we're on the same line here, Pseudo. Yeah, I kind of like this. I mean, the disruption wasn't going to matter anyways, and this still kind of has the gold on hit, so be fine. We could have theoretically sacrificed the hook here if we wanted to like force them to block, but I don't know if that's worth. Maybe we could have gotten extra gold there. It feels maybe a little greedy. It's probably actually not that greedy, right? 16, like they're Fang, a lot of their stuff blocks too. And they don't want to block it anyways. I think that hook there was actually probably correct. Alright, it might not matter too much here though. Oh, is that what happened, Charlie? They closed the chain link between swings, so they didn't get the extra fealty, and that's why they only went to 2 fealty. Okay, interesting. Did they have the opportunity to not close the chain link between swings? Oh, someone else already said that? Oh, okay, interesting. Maybe I just missed that. Alright, so they're now at 3 fealty. How did they make a 3rd fealty? Did I just miss it again? Oh, are they Relentless Pursuit or something? Okay. Right, so they are fully online now. I think I kind of like just giving them the hamstring shot here. Just get a little bit of value, assuming that they're going to Arsenal. I guess if we blocked on the first chain link, it would have actually been a little bit nicer, right? But now we get to do this, which is pretty sweet. So question here is, are we going for Shark or are we going for the battering? Yeah, Fang does 8 blocking, is true. Let's go ahead and discard the Sleep Dart. So we made a gold, so I guess the hook is always free, regardless of what we do. And then battering, or I feel like it's still just battering, right? I feel like it has to be, given that we know that like King Shark is whiffing most of the time, and like the gold doesn't matter when we're sitting on 3. Like I think the battering is just like more disruptive here. Like we need to take cards out of their hand as opposed to like just like getting gold off King Shark or whatever. Yeah, I mean the hook is free. They might know, they might not know it's hooked, right? I had like a gravy opponent do that to me one time, where it's just like they just hooked a fearless confrontation, and it's like I know how hook works. I play a deck with hook. You're not tricking me here. But if we get like, oh, if we get a time walk here, I'm so happy with this. All right, so we actually would have gotten them to block with the 4 of the Drake Eye, but then we don't really care, right? All right, this is fantastic. Perfect executed battering bolt right there. Oh, look at this hand. Oh, this hand is beautiful. So we don't give a shit, right? I guess we block with the gold bait hook because they have to give us a card here anyways, or they lose all their fealty. But this is great for us. God, frailty also does so much work against Fang. Batter and cheese is real, for sure. Oh, this is so good, and we get to hit him with the hamstring. God, Sarang when Sarang is good, it's so good, but when it sucks, it is like the worst fucking card of all time. All right, let's go ahead and I'm actually debating whether or not I want to split up the damage here. Is that worth it? So we can put 6 here, and then we get like 2 opportunities to get a ponder, or we get like 2, not 2 ponders, but 2 opportunities to get a ponder. So I guess the question is that worth it? Put it on the hamstring. I guess it's like the same, right? So we might as well split up the threats. Maybe. Yeah, I think I like the pre-med on the hamstring. Because then we go 6, get battering bolt, kill him. Like, I think this is like also kind of threatening, right? Like they might not think we're gonna send 9 on the back. Yeah, so I don't mind this. And they also do have to discard off the codex because they just got a for the Drake. I guess they can also get the overcredit back though. Pre-med makes me flashback to organic chem. Sorry, I'm triggering your college memories here. Yeah, I took like an organic chem class. I was not a like chemistry major or anything in college, but I still had to like take it as like a prereq. Let me tell you that stuff is like fucking hard. I do not envy anyone who has to do that. Right, so we can lace in the codex here. I guess the extra ponder doesn't matter here because we're going to codex anyways. But right, they get back the overcrowded. I guess we still get to swing with the battering roll, which is nice. I mean, they have to like discard to get a. Oh, is this like a 6 block? Yeah, I also don't. I don't use any of the chemistry stuff either. Overcrowded 6 blocks kind of disgusting though. At least I think that's how that works, right? Yep, seems pretty good. Carrion Husk overcrowded. I guess we can Arsenal Hammy again. Good. So they do still have to do things to keep their fealty alive. I wonder if actually turning over that overcrowd earlier in the game actually would have been better, right? How many tooth do they have left? Couple tooth, or potentially a couple tooth. So I guess the question is like, when are we giving them blocks? I think maybe blocking with sunken early seems fine here. How many codexes? We used all the codex, so I guess we don't have to worry about the overcrowd anymore. Maybe actually turning over that overcrowd was higher value in the long run. To be determined, I guess. Alright, they got the Hunt's End, sure. So I guess we got our full value here. Alright, getting a little low, but we can also throw our Sarong on next thing if we need to. Oh, they're making it bigger. I guess they're gonna like close chain Braveforge. Okay, I guess that makes sense. I don't think we care here, right? Let them go to 10 and ensure rip this hand. I think it's a 6 block, right, Ben? Because I think they had the Vigor, the Frailty, the Fealty, and then our Ponders tokens also count, right? That was like a Carrion Husk overcrowded. It was pretty good. I wonder if that actually is maybe like more merit to putting the pre-med on the back. Yeah. So that was a pretty good overcredit from them. Let's go ahead and pitch the yellowfin here, I think. I think we're gonna port side here, make a gold, and just try to fish for something a little bit better. Yeah, maybe I wasn't gold starved at that point in the game, so I didn't have to like really worry about it. Ooh, they got another 4 block on. I guess it's like 3 block on the overcred, so it's not actually that. I'm kind of curious that they actually blocked the hamstring there. So let's go ahead and Marlynn, refresh the gold, and then maybe get another hook trigger here. We're mostly through our deck at this point. We still have a 3 oak left, though. Okay, called it. It's not lucky if you call it, right? Question here is how many pumps have we seen? So we have 1 big game trophy shot, 1 catch. That's 2. 1 golden tip says 3. 1 late or 1 extra lace says 4. 2 pre-meds, so that's 6, and then 1 take game, which is 7. Right, so we have 7 pumps left in the deck. Yeah, I am a witch. How did you know? Okay. Let's go ahead and crack a gold. Drop blue. I think we're just gonna crack a couple gold because we need to like pressure them here. So let's look for a buff here. All right, called it. Not lucky if you call it, right? So it's past here. Oh well, the big game trophy shot's awkward, right? So I guess we stop here. I think we stop here and then we just potentially arsenal the big game trophy shot. Okay, yeah, we're a little bit off that catch of the day. So the question here is, do we want to IP with the remed? Or do we want to overpitch? I think I kind of don't mind overpitching here. And we did make a gold, right? So we can get the free hook. I think I like pitching it there because I think we still have a lace in the deck. Like, I think we have a lace and another pre-med. Another take game, right? Still a lot of reds. Or no, sorry, we pitched the pre-med. So wait, we have one more. No, we have 1 more pre-med, 1 more take game, 1 more lace. Unless I'm missing something. IP could be correct though. Especially if we're just sending like a goldfin. Depends what they got here. Alright, double sync is fine. So they go to 1 card. Double sync. Interesting. Yeah, maybe the IP is correct there. I can see it. I would still did draw a red buff, so maybe we're kind of still fine with that. Like, if our hand was like 2 red buffs plus 2 blues, I guess that's pretty good still, right? Because it means we get to still send big goldfin. Right, we're twisting and turning. They do not have go again. So I think now is the time to just give up our sea lace. Just cash in the free 2 value. Then they're not going to have go again on this, so it doesn't really matter. Then they're off fealty. So I think we got there. They still could have some stuff here, but I think this seems fine. But yeah, Nate and Ben, I think I like your play of just like maybe holding the extra one because we're probably gonna try to kill with bluefin or with yellowfin, or not yellowfin, but goldfin. You know what I mean. So we'll pitch one of our sea lights here. Let's see what we got. So sleep dart. We could just send the yellowfin here. It's 13. Alternatively, we discard the sleep dart. C4, make a gold. But the problem is, I feel like I need to like deal as much damage as possible. And like they are potentially running some number of yellows, right? We did see at least 1 twist and turn. We've not seen a ton of other yellows outside of that, actually. Maybe this is just a spicy one of. The alternative here is we crack a gold. Like, I guess the question is like, we don't really need to like use C4 to like upkeep, right? Because we're already going to be like threatening gold every turn, basically, right? So I think we're still just sending yellowfin for max damage. We can send 15 on this versus 12 on the goldfin, or it's 13 on the goldfin. So 2 extra damage. Yeah, 15 damage is 15 damage, right? I think I still like doing this. And they are off the fealty, but they do have a vigor. So they kind of get like one free swing. I think we're just throwing the hook on everything at this point, right? Kind of get into that point. Like if they give us 15 with the blocks here with their entire hand, I'm kind of okay just time walking them here. Yeah. So if we kept the red buff, does that make this hand better? We get to send 16 on a Goldfin. I guess that would be better, right? Yeah, maybe that was actually the play. All right, so get them down to 2, and then we get a peek at their hand. We're still at a nice, healthy life buffer here, and we're still sitting on 3 gold, so we're not in like terrible shape. All right, pledge fealty plus oath. So they are sending 7 damage total, which means they're not threatening our hand. Good. Yeah. We also get the ponder token. So yeah, I think keeping the red buff there might have actually been a difference maker. I think this might still get here regardless. So now the question is, do we want to give them any blocks here? I feel like the answer is still no. We go to 1, they have 1 armor. They're at 2, we send 10. Maybe we are supposed to buffer, or like, do we need the loan shark, I guess is the question. What other stuff do we have left in deck? We have 1 king shark left, 1 lace. I feel like blocking with the loan shark is actually better at this point, right? And we just don't need the extra gold. Could use it for digging purposes, though. I guess there's no incentive to block, right? Because we just go to 1. 1 is basically the same as 4 against Fang, right? I think that makes sense. So 2 here, 1 on the back. Yeah, I feel like there's actually like no incentive to block with the loan shark because like it's basically the same life total, right? It's 8, not 7. What am I missing? No, I think it is 7, right? Yeah, I think it's 7. Yeah, I think going to 1 here is like the same as going to 4, right? And then we get more looks by keeping the loan shark. So let's start by Kraken. All right, port side. So I think we're just going to make a ton of gold here. Try to look for a buff. We still have that 1 lace left. Right, king shark. I guess overpower is also not bad at this point, right? Still have 1 armor block. I think we can dig 1 more card. Maybe even a couple more cards. Try to dig for lethal. Okay, pre-med is good. So I think we try to kill them with overpower here, right? And I think we say fuck the loan shark and just pitch it. Yeah, I think this works out. You think the battering actually? So I was thinking I just want overpower to kill them because like if they block the battering, I guess it's like this. Isn't it like the same basically? Which is better actually? I think both are like it feels pretty much the same, right? Because we still have the Ataya on it. Okay, so get the Warmongers. All right, I think we got them here. So they had a tooth left. So I don't think it mattered, right? But yeah, that was pretty close game. So they did have a couple yellows left in the deck. Looks like they were mostly non-attack with maybe a few little like they had the 4 of the Drake Eyes, the Oaths, and the Overcrowder were the only attacks. And then for non-attacks, they had Saber Bloodshed, Twist and Turn. What else do we have here? Saber Bloodshed, Twist and Turn, and the Warmonger. So they're basically like 50-50 evens. Oh, I said the Relentless Pursuit. So they're slightly, I guess, more non-attack, but just barely. Yeah, it's always like a crapshoot, I guess, like which version of Fang you're gonna pair into. I don't actually know which. Like, I feel like the more attack action oriented Fang is maybe like a little bit stronger, but I'm not 100% sure. I probably need to consult my Fang experts at some point. And then they had they had this D-React left and no other D-Reacts left. Okay, so I think it was pretty safe there regardless. But yeah, I think what's our stream at for right now? Let me take a look. How long have we been recording? Looks like we've been going for 2.5 hours. All right, that's probably a pretty good point to stop. But thank you all for stopping by. Again, let's go back to the deck list. We can talk about it a little bit if anyone has questions in chat. But yeah, this is my quote unquote unsolved deck list that I've been working on. So still kind of tweaking some things here and there, but I've actually been kind of impressed with the Lace with Blood Rots over the Codex of Frailty. But yeah, thank you all for stopping by. GG's as well. And yeah, I think I kind of actually don't mind the Lace with Blood Rots because it just gives you like this really nice ceiling that you can sometimes draw into with like triple buff and like 3 with a blue or whatever. Like I don't know, I feel like the ceiling on this card is like a lot higher than the Codex of Bloodrot, where like the floor, you're running Codex of Bloodrot for its floor, right, which is like reload, get a Ponder token, and a Bloodrot, which is pretty good. But being able to like connect with an arrow, like if this is like the difference maker between like connecting with an arrow and not connecting with an arrow, like I think there's definitely some merit here. And we're still also like maintaining the ratio of like going to like our like 11-32 kind of like blue-red split. We're just kind of going down to the yellows, which I think makes a little bit of sense. That being said, I think yellows are still really good in this deck, so maybe just some preferences here and there. But yeah, I think this deck's still really cool. I unfortunately didn't get to actually play into a Gravy tonight, but I think the Gravy plan is actually really fun as well. But yeah, thank you all for stopping by. Again, I'll post the deck list in chat one more time. No, sorry, we're looking at the meta right now. But yeah, on Monday we might actually go and do some Terra gaming as well. I've got still some ideas for that deck. Not even copy this. All right, the mouse is a disaster tonight. Maybe I need to feed it a little bit better. But yeah, there's the deck list in chat. Hope you all enjoy. And yeah, let me know if you have any thoughts on the deck list and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll probably call it there. So good night, everyone. Hope you all had happy holidays and stuff, and I will see you all next week. All right, see you.